Welcome to the Canmore Nordic Center from Canmore, Alberta, Canada, the site of the 2017 Ski Nationals. This is Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. Welcome to the Canmore Nordic Center from Canmore, Alberta, Canada, the site of the 2017 Ski Nationals. This is Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. From our breathtaking living room to yours, overlooking the magnificent stadium that is the Canmore Nordic Center, we welcome you alongside Steve Scholes. My name is Phoenix, excited to show you the cross-country long sprints. Classic technique. Steve, what a day we have picked for this event.
Yeah, the sun is coming out here, and you just can't get any better scenery, I think, for a cross-country ski venue than right here in Canmore, surrounded by the mountains, the sun, the clouds starting to clear, the blue sky emerging, and the action heating up here in Canmore.
Well, it will be. The men and the women are competing today. It will be a lot of fun. An event like today's, though, Steve, actually has a lot of weight behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is the national championship, so you're going for the top in your country. As well, it's the year before the Olympics, so a lot of these athletes trying to show some good performances just heading into an Olympic year. As well, there's some top international athletes here racing alongside the Canadians. So, and as well, Canada has had a lot of depth in the world of cross-country ski sprinting. They've had some great results on the sprinting side. So this is really a world-class level sprint here today at the national championships here in Canmore.
Well, we'll see the semifinals and we'll see the finals, the A and B finals, right, for the junior and senior women and the junior and senior men. We'll have all of that for you today. Conditions, as you and I got here a couple of hours ago, the conditions weren't as soupy, as sloppy as they are now. This is very, very soft.
Yeah, that's right. There was a little bit of freezing rain overnight, and when we started with the qualifier this morning, it was very hard packed, very fast, almost icy conditions. But now the sun has come out. I think it's probably about +5 or +6 Celsius. It's above zero, and the snow really starting to soften up. It's very like snowball. You can make a big snowball with this snow.
That's true.
The high humidity in the snow, so conditions totally different from this morning, and that's going to slow things down. We are seeing times around 3 minutes, 20 seconds for the qualifiers, but I think we're going to see some slower times here, and it makes these climbs even harder, going slower, makes the finishing straight harder, because when this morning was very fast, you came down a hill, very short effort to get to the finish line. Now it's going to be a real hard drag race into that finish line today with these slower conditions.
Yeah, and one of the athletes too, they are going full speed right from the get-go. As you mentioned, it is a shorter course. If you're done in a couple of minutes, boy, you're pretty much turning it on right from the get-go, Steve.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a 1.3 kilometer course here in Canmore. It's a very tough course. Basically, you start off on a flat section, but then you're going steadily uphill to the high point, and then it's downhill after that with a very tricky corner under the bridge. So it's a real challenge course, and a lot of tactics involved in a sprint course like this, and particularly today where you don't want to be leading too early on, but you want to be crossing the finish line in one of the top positions.
You get an idea of just how much wind is blowing through here. It actually has calmed down over the last hour. An hour ago, that flag was at full mast, and as you can see farther in the distance, yes, there's cloudy conditions, but to say that these are ideal conditions would be a false statement. You don't want the sun as warm as it is. I mean, right now we're looking at about a +2.
Yeah, that's right. It's ideal conditions if you're a spectator. It's nice to be outside,
absolutely,
watching this kind of atmosphere, watching very exciting racing. But as an athlete, yeah, this is slowing things down. I mean, certainly if you're a real fit, real strong athlete, slower, tougher conditions, it plays in your favor. But definitely slows things down, makes it really hard. And you're also at altitude here in Canmore. So a lot of these athletes, they've probably now been here for a week, so they're starting to acclimatize to the altitude. But definitely it makes it harder. It's easier to blow up on a long climb. You just go too far into the red zone. That's kind of the conditions here.
All right, we are minutes away from the first of 2 semifinals. Again, it's the Cross Country Ski Nationals 1.3-kilometer sprint, the open for the junior women. They will be going in groups of 6. For our first group of 6, Katie Weaver, Lizelle Compton, Zoe Williams, and again, Dumas, Cheret, and Leclerc. Who do we like here?
Yeah, so we're about 3 minutes away from the start of our first semifinal. Katie Weaver is definitely one of the top junior athletes in Canada. She's out of the Hollyburn Ski Club in Vancouver. And Lizelle Compton, she had a second place, a really awesome second place yesterday in our classic distance race. She's out of Canmore, Ontario, races for the Manitoba ski team, actually. So Lizelle, definitely someone to watch for. Zoe Williams was also a top placing yesterday. So I think those are the 3 to watch for, although Laura Leclerc also is a national ski team member. So this is a really tough heat to start things off here for the junior women's semifinal.
There's really no advantage to someone who's from out of province. For the most part, as you mentioned here, Steve, a lot of the athletes have probably already been at this facility. Here's the second group of semis, but they've been here for the most part. And so they're acclimatized. They're used to these conditions. There should be no surprises by any of these athletes.
Absolutely, yeah. So they've been here long enough to start acclimatizing as well. They race quite often here in Canmore. It's a really popular race venue, and they all love coming here to race. So, definitely that's not an issue if you're a visiting athlete, and most of these athletes are. Going on to this semifinal, so we got Hannah Mahane, who was our bronze medalist yesterday in the classic race, and the gold medalist in our skate race on Sunday. So she's definitely one to watch for. Annika Richardson, who last year represented Canada at the Youth Olympics in Lillehammer. I think I saw she had a very, very fast qualifying time. She looked really good in her earlier quarterfinal heat. And Catherine Reed-Metayer, I think she was one of the top finishers as well yesterday. So I think those first 3 are the ones to watch for.
Okay, and we'll do that too. Again, 2 heats in the semifinals for the ladies, and then the top 6 out of that will advance to the final round. We want to give you a heads up here too. If you are new to this sport, there's something called a lucky loser spot. Steve, explain that.
Yeah, that's right. So each heat in the semifinal, the top 2 across the line in each semifinal move on to the
automatically advance.
Yeah, they're the automatic qualifiers. And then you've got the next 2 fastest times of the rest of the athletes in the semifinal. So that always creates an interesting dynamic because you're sprinting to the line. If you're in that top 2, you're good to go on. But if you're 3rd or 4th, you got to go hard all the way to the line because you're trying to get one of those 2 spots based on time from the 2 heats.
And between the quarterfinals and the semifinals, there's not much rest in between.
Absolutely, yeah. There's only, I'm thinking, maybe 15 minutes at most rest. Even though it's a sprint, it also becomes a bit of an endurance event because you have to be able to recover very quickly after your event. It's not like, they got it easy with the 100-meter dash, where they they do a qualifier, and then it's the next day they do their semifinal, and the next day they do their final.
Not this one.
Yeah,
it's go, go, go.
Yeah, the cross-country ski athletes are a lot tougher than these, track and field athletes. So they got to be ready to recover and get going again.
Well, the good news is we have cameras all over the course. Our first group of semifinalists, ladies, are ready to go, and here they go. Again, as Steve mentioned a few moments ago, there are 6 competitors that actually take to this 1.3-kilometer course. The first of 2 semis, as you mentioned, Steve, steady climb, right? Well, actually, flat off the start, but then the ladies approach a steady climb.
Yeah, they're just double pulling this flat section, but they're quickly going to go into a very, very long, tough climb here. And so far, they're all still close together. One thing that can happen is things can get a little bit tactical. Again, doesn't matter until you cross the finish line. But as well, also the tactics can be an issue as far as if you're trying to get into a lucky loser placing, which is based on time.
And there's the lucky losers that will advance to the finals as well, too. Now, as these ladies approach the steady climb, they are looking for a left corner slightly ahead. This is just the beginning of the 1.3-kilometer course, as you mentioned, Steve. This should probably take about 3.5 minutes, but with these conditions, probably looking at some slower times as well, too, as we catch up with the ladies right here.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be close to 4 minutes a lap. So they're just making their way to the top of the first part of the climb. They'll actually have a little bit of a left-hand turn, and then they'll come down to a short downhill, and then a very steep uphill. So they've gone through the first part of the climb, a little bit of a rest, and then they're going to have another climb to make their way up to the high point of the course. And also they've got a very tricky downhill coming up after that.
Well, one thing we've realized, too, just talking about this course and looking at the course as well, too, there is not much time for rest. You put your foot on the gas, and you're going from start to finish, Steve.
Absolutely, yeah. So just trying to see who's in the lead right now.
Again, you're watching the first of 2 semifinals, the junior women. Here from Canmore, Alberta, Canada is what you're watching here. And again, as you are in stride, you have to decide as a competitor when you want to make your move. As we can see here, there's moves being made here. It's a 4-cross track.
Yeah, so so in the lead right now, that's Katie Weaver from the Hollyburn Club. Then we've got Liza Compton out of Kenora, and then we've got Zoe Williams. So those were the top 3 that we were watching for. Now again, the top 2 will move on to the final. The other one is trying to deal with the lucky loser times, and you can see they've separated themselves from the rest of the field. So Katie Weaver leading it out, Liza Compton in second, Zoe Williams in third right now.
It's a top 3 race right now. 6 competitors started. It's the top 2 that will advance automatically. Again, as Steve mentioned, a lucky loser spot is also up for grabs, but there are 2 lucky loser spots available for both semis.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so it could be both from this heat, both from the other heat, or one from either one. But now this is the tricky corner. They go under a bridge.
Through the tunnel, yep.
Yeah, through the tunnel. And last year at the Ski Tour Canada, we actually saw a couple of the top women in the world fall on that descent.
Weaver and Compton seem to be taking the lead. We'll see as they come with a final push here. When you see the gates, it'll be the final 100 meters. This is the first of 2 semifinals. Ladies in a tuck position. This is going to be a close finish.
Yeah, we got 3 coming to the finish. And again, the only 2 automatically qualify. So we've got Liza Compton just this is actually our second group here. This is our second group.
Andrew Dupont is leading right now, double polling, trying to keep that position, but as you can see on the outside, a move is trying to be made here. We are coming to the final 100-meter stretch of this first of 2 semifinal heats.
Yeah, so that is actually not Andrea Dupont.
Okay.
That is number 6. That is Zoe Williams. And now moving on the outside, that's Katie Weaver. And on the right, in the white, that is Liza Compton.
Boy, we expected a tight finish, but boy, this will be tight. These ladies are pumping, double pumping as fast as they can. Everything that they have, they've already been through the semis, 15-minute rest, and boom, look at the efforts that all 3 of these ladies are pushing through. The top 2 will advance, and there you go.
It's going to be
finish.
Zoe Williams and Katie Weaver that are going to automatically qualify.
What a great finish for these ladies. Boy, you want to talk about wanting it bad. Every single one of them there wanted it big time. You can see the exhaustion on these ladies as the final three come across the finish line right now. What a great semi.
Oh, yeah, things are really slowing down from this morning. They were really having to drive a long time,
Woo!
completely exhausted here. But, yeah, the snow is slowing down and making that finishing stretch absolutely painful for these athletes. So Zoe Williams with a real strong finish. Katie Weaver, the second automatic qualifier, and we'll see if Liesl Compton can move on to the semifinals.
Well, speaking of semi, here's the second of the two semifinals. 6 ladies in the chute, and off they go. 4 across. There's 4 tracks on this course. Again, as we mentioned it, it's a steady climb right off the top. There is no rest for the wicked. You go right from the start.
Yeah, so I can see we've got Annika Richardson in white there. She is sitting in the second position. And we've got Hannah Mahane, I believe, sitting. She may be right in the lead. Yeah, that's Hannah Mahane in the lead. She was our gold medalist in the skate race. This is the classic technique today, but she was a bronze medalist yesterday in the classic distance event.
Now these ladies are doing their best to maintain their position. Again, strategy has to play a part in this. Yes, the conditions are something to consider, but again, you have to ask yourself, how strong of a racer are you, and when do you make the move to advance?
Yeah, so I think generally this first climb, you're kind of wearing out your competitors, but the second part of this climb is a lot steeper, so I think you're going to see some attacks on that part of the climb, trying to get in the lead before that tricky downhill section, that downhill corner. But you're seeing
Here's a left turn.
Yeah, here's the left turn, and we got a few athletes starting to separate themselves, Hannah Mahane and Annika Richardson.
This is the second uphill, and then it'll do a right turn halfway up this, and then that's when they'll reach the highest point of this course. We also notice along the course, Steve, there's also coaches that are probably encouraging the athletes along the way and giving them some advice.
Yeah, absolutely. The coaches are on the course. They're trying to see where athletes struggling, where are they doing well, trying to encourage them, letting them know what position they're in, letting them know maybe perhaps someone has fallen behind them or they've opened a gap. Because you're going all out, it's hard for you to look over your shoulder and see exactly where you're at. But that's Annika Richardson that's pulling into the front. And then we've got Catherine Reed-Metayer in second and Hannah Mahane in third, and they're starting to separate themselves. But Annika Richardson, great talent. She competed for Canada at the Youth Olympics in Lillehammer last year, the sole female representative at the Youth Olympics for Canada. Originally from the Hollyburn Ski Club, now trains for the National Training Center out of Thunder Bay under the coaches Timo Puris and Tim Wintanu. But yeah, Annika really pushing the pace, and that's often the strategy in the semifinals or the
push
quarterfinals.
Off the stop. Or off the start. Push off the start.
Yeah, push off the start and just play it safe. There's always a certain amount of luck involved in these sprints. Someone might fall, you might break a pole. You don't necessarily want to be trying to get through on a lucky loser position, so push the pace. And then you see the final, much more strategic, where you're not at all concerned about the time. It's just about who crosses the finish line first. So Annika Richardson, number 3, our early leader.
Yep.
But Catherine Reed-Metayer, beautiful cornering there for Catherine. And that allowed her to move into first. I mean, that's a huge move. Like, she's picked up, a second or two. She gets a little bit easier rest, and now she's leading out. But we're going to have another 3-way sprint here as they come into this final descent before the final straightaway.
Reed-Metayer, followed by Mahane, followed by Richardson. Each of them trying to find a final spot. The top 2 will advance to the finals. The ladies are beside each other. Man, what another final this is going to be. It's a push to the end. When you see the fence, it's a 100-meter sprint from this point forward. It looks like Richardson is pushing as hard as she can, but right behind her, or right beside her, Mahane, Metayer, all of them pushing as fast as they can.
Wow, this is interesting. This is really slowed down because Annika Richardson is striding that, and she's actually going a little faster than double pulling. So it's really slowed down. But Hannah Mahane has now moved to the right here, and she's trying to make a dash for the finish. Oh, my, it's a total drag race.
Side by side. Who will take the top 2 spots? They will advance to the final. What a finish we have here at Canmore. Coming across the finish line. Who will it be? Metayer, Mahane, or Richardson? And across the final line as the push stretching as hard as you can. Here it is. It is. Richardson, by the looks of it.
And Mahane, I think, on the outside, and then
Wow.
Reed-Metayer. Oh, my
Woo.
goodness. 2 races,
Okay, now that was
2
fun.
3-way sprints. That was a lot of fun. And again, that straightaway was so fast this morning. It had a tailwind as well. It was icy fast. It wasn't an issue at all. And now it's just it's just a parade of pain in that final straightaway right now.
Boy, that was a lot of fun. Annika Richardson, she will advance to the finals. Again, the top 2 of each heat will advance with 2 lucky loser spots available. Now, as we switch our attention, guess what? It's now the senior women. The first of 2 heats for the senior women. Now we might see a bit more speed here, Steve, maybe a bit more strategy. As we saw with the junior ladies, there was a separation within the first 30 seconds of the race. We're probably not going to see that here.
Yeah, that's right. This is a very, very deep field here. We've also got some top American athletes in this field. Probably the most accomplished athlete in this field, Daria Beatty, with the Canadian national team. She's been in the top 30 a number of times in the World Cup, and she was actually, I think, took a 15th place here in the Classic Sprint at the Ski Tour Canada last year, the World Cup finals last year. But also Annika Hicks, Catherine Stewart-Jones. They were also recently racing in the Quebec World Cup.
So they know each other.
They know each other.
They know their strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you can see they're all still very close together. One thing that's interesting is a lot of them are switching to herringbone here as opposed to staying in the track. So that's where the grip wax isn't working quite as well. And it's always a little bit of a balance. You want good grip to get up the hills, but that can then resist you on the downhills. But some of these athletes having a
trade-off.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. Exactly.
Clister wax?
Yeah, absolutely. Clister wax on a day like today for the kick zone. The glide is a little bit different, but the kick wax is definitely clister today.
The top 3 ladies right now, Daria Beatty, we have Catherine Stewart-Jones and Annika Hicks, who are leading the pack right now. So I stand corrected. Usually I was thinking there wouldn't be much of a separation. Looks like they've got a little slight lead here, but again, the race is not over.
Yeah, I think that was Corey Stock, I believe, out of the U.S., I think, just pulling up the last position. But, they're still pretty close. And, this course with that tricky downhill, you never want to give up.
And you can see some slipping there going on. So again, the wax that they may have had put on about a half an hour ago may not be as effective as they were hoping.
Exactly, yeah. That's Daria Beatty. She's in the colors of the Alberta World Cup Academy. That's the group that she trains with here in Canmore. But look at that, just beautiful technique.
Stride. Beautiful
Oh,
stride.
yeah. Daria Beatty, she's improved so steadily over the last few years, and just great to see. And, her training, I think she's got it down well. She's had lots of good races right through the season. Last year she had a great season. So I think she's figured out the training. And she's already qualified for the Olympics in Korea. So she'll be one of the athletes almost certainly representing Canada in Korea. And, with some improvement next year, she could be battling, I think, for a top 10.
Position, yeah.
And you can see she's pulled away quite a bit.
Right behind her is Catherine Stewart-Jones, as you get a real understanding of how talented this young lady, Daria Beatty, is, as she makes that final right-hand turn underneath the bridge. And this is a little slippery area, but she handles it very, very well. She double pulls. She can see from this point the finish line.
Yeah, and she just took a quick look over her shoulder just to see what kind of gap she had, because she wants to manage her energy, because she still has the final. So if she's got a big gap, she doesn't want to use any more energy than she has to get in one of those top 2 automatic qualifiers.
Well, that's one thing that Catherine Stewart-Jones is hoping for. She's right behind Daria Beatty, and she is in for a push of her own, too. She knows behind her there are 2 competitors that are really going after her position. Again, there's the leader, Daria Beatty. Behind her, Catherine Stewart-Jones, and the rest of the pack. Stewart-Jones is hoping to hold on to that second spot so she can make it into the finals. Let's see how she does. Foregone conclusion, Daria Beatty looks to be the winner of this first of 2 semi-heats, and Catherine Stewart-Jones holding on as best as she can. Annika Hicks on her heels.
Yeah, so they're sprinting in, and this is such a long, hard finish now. But Daria Beatty, it looks like she's starting to just pull back a little bit, but, it's still close between Annika Hicks. It's not over yet. And also, they're driving to the line to get that lucky loser position here.
Absolutely amazing effort. All of these ladies coming together today and enjoying this incredible environment here in Canmore. Exhaustion, elation, but great relief that this one of 2 semifinals for the senior women is complete. You want to know how much these ladies are pushing? Look at that. true exhaustion. Wow.
Oh my, this course is getting really, really nasty here. But Daria Beatty, just a real talent, someone who's been steadily improving, and great technique. I just love when they showed her technique. Looking really good here for the final.
And congratulations to our great Shaw TV crew here, the Chasing Limits crew, bringing to you this amazing competition here, live from Canmore, Alberta, Canada. Don't you wish you were here? You know what? We have to start taking off our jackets, for heaven's sakes. All right, here it is, the second of two semifinals for the senior women. They are ready. Who are we looking for here, Steve?
Well, Emily Nishikawa is in this field. She's generally been the top Canadian on the World Cup circuit recently. Now she's more of a distance racer. She was actually our champion yesterday.
Competitor number 102.
That is 102 in the red outfit. That is Emily Nishikawa. So we'll see in the sprint how she's doing. Sophie Carrière-Lefort, one of our Quebec athletes, definitely a very good sprinter. Jen Jackson, who was one of our medalists already this week. She's another good sprinter, but I think Sophie Carrière-Lefort is probably our strongest sprinter in this field.
So look for Sophie, competitor number 103, Emily, competitor number 102, that's Emily Nishikawa, as the ladies are beginning their first challenge, which is that steady climb up the hill. Again, they just had a brief moment and there seems to be number 112, that is Deidre Irwin. She got tied up.
Yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate. She's one of our athletes out of Sun Valley in the United States. Not sure quite what happened there. There is rules around obstruction. If you cross over into another track and you cross another athlete's skis, that could be viewed as obstruction. But I think that was just the course narrows down from all the start lanes to a fewer number of lanes, and not a surprising spot for some difficulties. But that's Emily Nishikawa as your early lead, and I've just been informed of the lucky losers from our junior women. It was Liesl Compton and Catherine Reed-Metayer were our lucky losers from for our junior women. But we're now on to our second semifinal heat for our senior women right now.
Congratulations to those ladies as well, too. The same format applies here as well. The first two finishers will advance to the final round, and then again, there are two lucky loser spots available. 6 will advance to the final in total as we watch competitor number 102, Emily Nishikawa, who has the early lead as these ladies are halfway through the course.
Yeah, Emily's the one in red. That's the suit of the Canadian national team. Oh, she's looking good. She's really driving the pace here. We'll see who's in second. Yeah, so that's on the left. That is Jen Jackson. And who is that? 117. That is Mary Rose. Mary Rose, who was actually second yesterday. She's an American athlete out of the Sun Valley Ski Education Foundation in Idaho. So she's having a really good start, even though she was a 17th position for the qualifier. She's looking good. Emily looking very relaxed, beautiful technique on the climb, and it looks like Jen Jackson is third. So Sophie Carrière-Lefort has dropped off the pace, the Quebec skier, certainly one of the athletes we were looking for. I'm seeing the top 3 have come through, and I believe that was Carrière-Lefort that just came through. She was our third best qualifier, and she's sitting back of our top athletes here. But Emily Nishikawa leading right now, the Canadian athlete.
There she is.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. She's got a good lead. So that's coming over the high point of the hill. So you can see that hill is proving to be very, very tough here. But this is that tricky corner. Emily through safely.
As we'll get, there's a good shot of her right there. We'll get back to that shot in a second. But easily, it looks like Emily Nishikawa is taking the lead and commanding the lead right now. That is Mary Rose right behind her. She actually jumped ahead.
Yeah, so she looks really good here. Again, she's more of a distance athlete, but doing pretty good in the sprints. And Jen Jackson in third. But there again, it's the top 2 that move forward. And Emily Nishikawa, she's just relaxing there. So she's going to save, I think, a little bit of energy, but it's still a challenging finish. But she's got enough time to relax. And you know what? Just in the background, you can see Jen Jackson passed Mary Rose on the finish. So she's got the right glide wax there on that descent. Wow. Whatever she's got on her skis, that is the glide wax you want, because she closed quite a large gap to Mary Rose.
Well, there she is, the young lady from the Yukon, Emily Nishikawa, who is easily going to finish this race in top spot. Again, the second spot here. But as we look at the camera, we can see on the outside The race is actually for second and third spot. What a push at the end here.
Sophie Carey-Lafort, oh my goodness. She came from 4th place on the descent, and look at the power at the finish.
Wow.
So never count out Sophie Carey-Lafort. She's going to get that second automatic
What
qualifier.
a thrill for that young lady. She comes from the outside. She made her move, the final sprint, and again, complete exhaustion for all of these ladies. But there she is, competitor number 102, Emily Nishikawa, who wins the second semi-heat of the women. What a performance by that young lady.
Yeah, great job by Emily, and bravo, Sophie, for that come from behind second place finish. Oh my goodness, very exciting.
And here's who's going to be in the finals. This is for the junior women that we saw earlier. It includes Richardson, Williams, Weaver, Mahane, Compton, and Reed Metier that we had seen just a few moments ago. So again, we just saw the senior ladies. Now we're going back to the junior ladies. This will be the B final.
That's the B final. It's just got underway. This is the B final right now. So these are for places 7th through 12th here to decide. So we're underway now with our B final. Again, so we got Lawrence Dumais, Claire Grawl-Johnson, Jackie Yakamoto, Laura Claire, Marianne Scherer, and Michaela Hudson.
We cannot overstate just how warm it is getting here at Canmore. We said maybe +2, easily +5 right now. You and I could be just taking off a few layers here, which I'm sure these ladies are thinking about doing right now as we watch the start of the B finals.
Yeah.
B finals.
Yeah, we could have a snowball fight here. This is great snow for snowballs, but not the fastest snow. But this is pretty close final. Some of the athletes here, Michaela Hudson, I believe with the Sovereign Lake Nordic Center team. I believe she's actually potentially a relation to Troy Hudson, the general manager out at Sovereign Lake. Another great Canadian place to ski. So our early leader, that's
Lawrence Dumais?
Yeah, Lawrence Dumais.
Dumais?
Yeah. Yeah, I think she was right in the battle there in the semifinals. She's probably the top skier out of this group, and certainly showing that so far. But as we've seen, that descent, the glide on that descent is playing a big factor here.
It's one of strategy. A lot of these young ladies, they know exactly what they're up against, and they know exactly what their strengths are, and they play to their strengths. Maybe a fast push off the start, maybe it's on a downhill, maybe it's around a corner. Each one of these ladies has a strategy. Again, you're watching the junior women. This is the B finals, and that young lady, Lawrence Dumais, is in the lead, but not much of a lead. There is a challenge on the outside. This race is not over, Steve.
Oh my goodness, yeah, we still got 5 athletes in the hunt, and you can see the grip wax now starting to play a role. You can see the one athlete getting a little bit better grip, but still slipping. So yeah, that's tricky, and we've had a little bit of a mix-up there, a couple athletes bumping into each other, but so now we've got a new athlete in the lead.
That is competitor number, we're just getting her number in a second here. There's a lot of sun here.
Yes, lots of sun here. And that I can see that's Jackie Yakamoto from Dave Wood's Blackjack team out of Rossland, British Columbia. Great program that Dave has there in Rossland. So she's sitting in that second spot, I believe.
Great shots from our camera crew here at Shaw TV. We hope you're enjoying this competition here at Canmore, Alberta, Canada, as we see the final stretch of this race coming down this hill, a sharp left-hand turn through the tunnel. We'll catch up with our leader in just a few moments, but at least you get an idea of the separation of these athletes. But again, we've noticed that this final stretch here, Steve, this is competitor number 12,
yeah.
Michaela Hudson, who is in the lead. Where did she come from? Wow, look at her. She can see the finish line. The other 5 ladies are on her tail.
Yeah, so we'll see how the descent unfolds here, but that is Michaela Hudson, but you can see the yellow outfit of the Nakertok Nordic team moving a second. So Nakertok getting some good glide here. But look at this. So those athletes still gliding, and Michaela breaking into a double pole. And look at that. Look at that athlete. That Nakertok athlete closed that entire gap
Unbelievable.
Just based on their glide on that downhill. That is number 8.
Claire
Grawl-Johnson.
Johnson, yes.
Yeah.
Wow, did she ever find her second wind? She knew that this is going to be it. Right near the end, a slight uphill to the finish. Now she's on a flat stretch. She is not giving this up. There is no one who's going to stand in her way. She wants this bad. The B finals, junior women. As she comes across the line, what an amazing performance by that young lady. There you have your B finalist right there, Claire Grell Johnson. What an amazing effort by her.
And that's Lawrence Dumais in second right now. I think she's going to hold on to second place. So Lawrence Dumais, the other not to qualify, that's going to be in eighth place for the women. So Claire Grell Johnson is going to finish in seventh spot in the national championships.
Wow, what an effort by that young lady. There's your B finalist, top lady right there. But guess what? We too have the finals for the junior women, and here they come. 6 ladies coming in strong. Whoever wins this one is the top spot belongs to one of these 6 ladies. This is going to be fun, including Richardson, Williams, Weaver, Mahan, Compton, and Reed Met. Here they go. We have an early leader, and this is competitor number 6, Zoe Williams.
And anyone can win this race. You recall from our 2 semifinal heats, we had 3 advanced from each semifinal heat, and each of those semifinals was an absolute drag race for all 3 athletes. So any of these athletes can win, and they are racing for national championship medals here. These are our junior women. This is ages 19 and 20 here in Canada, and you can see some of the spectators running alongside the athletes, encouraging them. But that's Annika Richardson in first from the Thunder Bay Training Center.
And how quickly the positions have changed. Annika Richardson, Katie Weaver, then Zoe Williams. You get an idea for the field. Lizelle Compton is also in the mix. This is just the beginning of the finals for the junior women. Yes, the finals. One of these 6 is your national champion. And that young lady, Annika Richardson, she has the lead. She does not want to give it up.
Yeah, you mentioned Lizelle Compton. She's an athlete that was more of a skate skier until a couple years ago. She's been working with her coaches, Tim Montano and Timur Pires, and her classic technique has improved so much. Very beautiful classic technique, and that got her a silver medal yesterday in the distance classic race. And right now she's sitting, it looks like sitting about 3rd or 4th right now. But this is this really steep, tough climb, and we can see our leader trying to make a gap right now. Her strategy is to push the pace and lead into that final descent. But it's going to come down to how good a skis you have, I think, on that final descent.
Absolutely. 1.3-kilometer course. There's not much room for movement here. That young lady, again, it's a rainbow of colors as you see these ladies on this beautiful, pristine snow here at Canmore, Alberta, Canada. There has been some changes in the leaders, and we're going to catch up with them as well, too, as we watch through the trees here. Some amazing. There's Annika, who is now dropped into second. Wow, what a change of events in the last 10 seconds.
Yeah, so Katie Weaver has taken the lead. She's got a huge gap on Annika, so now it's all separating, but Lizelle Compton in 3rd. So, wow. So Katie Weaver, her strategy really hammered that steep climb. So she's leading over the top. Oh, she's got probably about 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So a lot of time, but we'll see. She's got to navigate this tricky corner, and then she's got to hold on that descent.
And there's
final double pole.
And there's a level of exhaustion right now, but you still got to maintain your technique. And she's doing a great job through that. Competitor number 1, Katie Weaver. She knows what she's got. She's got 5 other ladies behind her who desperately want the top position. And she is, Annika Richardson. She's back in the mix. She can see her. She's in her sights. It's going to be a race between these 2 ladies. Katie Weaver, slight lead. Annika Richardson in 2nd spot. Annika making her move, and here she goes.
Oh my goodness, these are 2 Vancouver athletes originally. Look at the skis that Annika Richardson had. Oh my goodness, the Thunder Bay team is going to be very happy with their skis, and they're driving to the line here.
Does she have enough in her, Steve? Does she have enough? She doesn't want to give it up. Is this it? Is this our junior champion? Ladies and gentlemen, it sure looks like it. There she is. What a push from Katie Weaver. Wow. We didn't expect it. She lost her position as the race began, but look at this. And again, 2nd and 3rd. This is not over. What a race.
Oh my goodness! It's going to be Annika Richardson
Woo!
with a gold medal.
Wow.
Katie Weaver, it
Wow.
looks like silver, and Liesl Compton with another Canadian Championship medal. What an incredible
Wow.
race here
Wow.
for the Junior Women's Canadian Championship. Oh my goodness.
Who would have thought 1.3 kilometers would be so tight near the end? But what an effort by that young lady, all in white. What an effort by her, Annika Richardson. Tremendous.
Now, both these athletes are actually originally from the Hollyburn Ski Club. Annika Richardson now in Thunder Bay, training with the Thunder Bay Training Center. Katie Weaver with Hollyburn out of Vancouver. You know what? There was about a 4-second gap between Katie Weaver and Annika Richardson on that descent. So a real difference was made up on that final descent.
Beautiful stuff. B final for the senior women. Here they are, 6 ladies, including Stock, Irwin, Rose, Jackson, Porkney, and Large. Who will take home the B final for the senior women? That's what we're watching right now. Here they are, and off they go. Again, will this be as tight a race as we saw for the junior Bs? Well, this is the senior B final, and again, jockeying for position right off the start, Steve.
Yeah, so this is our battle for 7th through 12th place here at the National Championships in beautiful Canmore, Alberta.
What a day.
Oh, what a fantastic day. For the spectators, you can see they're just standing around, but it's really making it hard on these athletes. Some of these athletes all breaking into a bit of a herringbone here. You can see the slush, how soft it is, how sugary the snow is, making it really painful for these athletes.
We should also give you a heads up, too, in the last 15 minutes, the wind has kicked up. Good news for the young ladies who are competing today, because when they come around the home stretch, the wind will be at their back. That's something they have to factor in for their strategy as they go through this race.
Absolutely. Now, this morning when it was so fast and icy with that tailwind at the finishing straight, it made very fast, but you can see it's a really, really tough drag race at the end of this course now with the slower, sloppier snow here. And just a word, I just received word on the lucky losers for the A final for the senior women. It's going to be Annika Hicks and Alana McLean moving on to that A final. But this is the B final right now, places 7th through 12th for our national championships here in Canada. There are some American athletes in this field. Mary Rose,
who's leading right now. Oh, but she's just been overtook by taken by Deidre Irwin. Boy, they've already started getting themselves a race right now.
Oh my goodness.
112, Deidre Irwin with the early lead. Right behind her, Mary Rose, competitor number 117, right behind her as well too. Halfway through the course, these ladies are excited again. This is the B final. The B final for the senior women, as again, you get an idea of just again how much separation there is between first and sixth position. On the inside, look at that. Mary Rose has said, I'm going to take the inside spot and see where that gets me.
Yeah, so some of the other Americans in this field, Corey Stock and Annie Picorni from the Sun Valley team. Just trying to get a read on those numbers. That is 2 Sun Valley athletes, so 2 American athletes. So we've got...
That's Mary Rose in the mix. Competitor number 117, that's Mary Rose.
I think that's Annie Picarni, who's just moved into the lead. She's a top athlete out of the U.S., so she's moved into the lead.
And Amber Large is right behind her as well.
Okay, so this is the B final. They're battling for places 7th through 12th.
Fantastic shots from our camera crew here. We hope you're enjoying this competition. Again, you're watching the B finals for the senior women. The A finals are standing by, waiting for the end of this race. As again, here we go around this one corner that you talked about, Steve, and then down deep into the tunnel. The wind is now at the ladies' backs, so they know they're going to have a bit of momentum. Thank you to Mother Nature. Through this very difficult, look how soupy that snow is. But there it is, competitor number 110, Annie Portnoy. Where did she come from? Wow.
Yeah, she's looking really strong here, but again, we've got this long descent. Now, these 2 skiers probably on the same wax, but we've got, I think you mentioned Amber Large, I believe. So we'll see if she can close in here at the finish.
This is the long stretch, and it is a long, long stretch here. We mentioned it before. It looks flat from the vantage point from here, but there is a slight uphill. As you can tell, there are some ladies who take advantage of it, and Mary Rose is that young lady. And there you go, the final three right in your sights. 117, that is Mary Rose. We have a 112, I believe that is Deidre Irwin, and Annie Portnoy is also part of the mix here. But that young lady, Mary Rose, is trying to take home the B final.
But look at this, it's a battle right to the finish. Oh my, it's a total drag race, and you can see some of the athletes are hopping out of the track, trying to find the fastest snow, but they're back in the track. And now look at that, 112.
It's a 100-meter sprint, and that's literally what this is. Who's got the gas? Who's got enough to the end? It doesn't look like it's going to be Mary Rose. Who is it going to be?
It's going to be
on
Deidre
the outside. Deidre Irwin, come on.
Oh my! And 117,
wow.
Mary Rose, and then it looked like Corey Stock also in there. So again, that's 7th through 12th.
Wow. Wow. Oh, pure exhaustion, but that what a relief, just enjoying some time in the snow. What a great, great performance by all of these young ladies. There's Deidre Irwin. And again, now let's take a look at, this is the A final for the senior women. We just saw the B final, but keep an eye on this young lady that we talked about dressed in red, Emily Nishikawa, this young lady from the Yukon who understands exactly what she needs to do, competed in Quebec over the weekend. She just returned yesterday, I believe, and now she's competing again in completely different weather conditions.
Yeah, absolutely. And she took the victory yesterday in the Distance Classic race, and as you mentioned, she's from the Whitehorse Ski Club, a fantastic program up in Whitehorse, Yukon, led by Alain Misson. He's done a great job, produced a lot of great athletes. Actually, Daria Beatty, also from Whitehorse. So we've got a bit of a Whitehorse battle here between Daria and Emily, but we've also got 107 in that field, Catherine Stewart-Jones.
Yep. Catherine Stewart is trying to keep up with the pack. She realizes that if she wants to be in the top three, she's got to stay with these two ladies. They are not going to give up the lead. She realizes she's got to stay right behind these two ladies. Again, we're talking about Catherine Stewart-Jones. She's in the white outfit. Again, the two red in front, both of these ladies from the same school. We are halfway through the A finals of the senior women's here at Canmore, Alberta, Canada.
And again, this is for a national championship victory. And one thing I should mention about the glide waxing, we talked about using Clister here, but the glide waxing clearly very, very important. And I know some of these teams have made the flip. The old school waxing was using an iron, and you actually melted wax onto a ski and you had to let it cool. A lot of these teams have made the switch to waxes that you don't actually use an iron. You don't heat it up. You actually just polish the ski with the wax. And I know the Thunder Bay team has been using that type of wax, and clearly today they had some of the fastest skis. So we'll see how Catherine Stewart here, the third place skier from the Thunder Bay team, how she does on the descent here versus the very experienced Emily Nishikawa.
Daria Beatty, yes.
Yes. And one more thing to mention about Catherine Stewart-Jones. One of her brothers is actually a rower, and he won a medal at the World Rowing Championships. So,
fantastic.
A lot of, and also her brother Patrick Stewart-Jones is a top skier. So a lot of athletes in that family.
Makes for some interesting conversation at the dinner table, no question about it. There is 2, 3 athletes who are in the running, and there they are. They have definitely separated themselves from the field. No doubt, each of these ladies has a move. They're going to make it after they go through the tunnel. As they come around the tunnel, here they are, making their way through the soupy mix. It looks like this could be a 3-person race to the final. 3 ladies desperately want the title of champion for A finals, senior women. It comes down to this, Steve.
Yeah, so this is interesting. This descent has been so critical because the glide is important. Now, Emily Nishikawa deciding to go to the track, hoping that it's a little bit faster out of the track. But
she's right.
And look at this, Catherine Stewart-Jones is coming on strong. Obviously, that Thunder Bay team has the best wax here on the day. But Emily Nishikawa looking for a second gold medal here this week.
Look at her rhythm. Look at her stride. Look at her push. She does not want to give this up. She has it. Look at the separation already. It looks like she's going to take it home, but there is a fight for second and third. Where is this going to lead? But it isn't over till it's over, as they say. Emily Nishikawa, she can see the finish line. She can hear the crowd. She's trying to push. Can she do it? Here she goes. Is she the winner? Ladies and gentlemen, there is your winner, Emily Nishikawa, competitor number 102. What a push.
Oh, my. And I think Daria Beatty maybe got there in for second. Catherine Stewart's in the top three on the podium. Emily Nishikawa.
Wow.
Saying what a hard finish, but a second gold medal here at the National Championships for Emily Nishikawa out of the White Horse, racing for the Canadian national team. What a way to finish off her season. 2 gold medals, Canadian champion Emily Nishikawa.
And wearing her uniform, proud is that young lady. What an incredible effort by that young lady, competitor number 102, Emily Nishikawa, with a time of 4 minutes flat. She actually was ahead of Daria Beatty by about almost 3 seconds. She made a final push there, Steve, unlike we've seen before. Congratulations to Emily Nishikawa, who had a great push near the end. Wow, she wanted it badly. In fact, she was actually 6 seconds better than her semifinal time.
Wow.
6 seconds better. So, have conditions changed? Did she change her wax? Or did she just really want it bad?
Well, it's possible that she saved a little bit of energy from the earlier races, so she had more left for the end, and she certainly unleashed that energy at the end. So it looks like we've got Annika Hicks in fourth, Sophie Carrier-Lefort in fifth right now, based on our unofficial results. But Emily, Daria, Catherine, what exciting racing. Oh, my goodness. And this the sprints. You know, this is about as exciting a race as you can get here, what we've seen here today.
Absolutely. And one thing that we've realized, too, that these ladies all know each other. They have such a camaraderie as well, too. It's so exciting to see all of them together. But, boy, wasn't that something. The 2017 Canadian Cross Country Ski Nationals, the Open Juniors, Senior Women, and, yes, there's also the Senior Men. You thought that this was just the start? It is just the start. And again, we'll try to get interviews with both of these ladies. A lot to be impressed with. These ladies were able to handle the conditions today.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Emily saved a little bit for the end, knowing it was going to be really, really hard. And she laid it down at the end of this race and took the victory for sure.
Any surprises in that the final two the heats that we saw for the A final for juniors?
We were looking.
Seniors?
I think the surprise maybe was Nishikawa. She's been racing in Quebec. She raced yesterday. She's a little more of a distance racer compared to some of the other skiers, but she clearly had the fitness. I think with the really hard course, that's I was mentioning where it starts to become more of a fitness course, less of a sprinter's course, and I think we saw that today with Emily Nishikawa. You've got to go through this course 4 times between the qualifier and the heats and the final. So definitely it's going to favor the more endurance type athletes, I think, on this course with the really slow, tough conditions.
One of the things that we realized too is as the competition continued, the conditions are changing drastically. How much time does an athlete actually have to change the wax on her skis? I mean, is there any time at all?
It's really tricky. I mean, they'll all have their own wax technicians that will be out checking the wax, seeing how they're doing. They'll be checking if the conditions, you can get it where the conditions all of a sudden change and it starts raining or snowing, so you have to be able to change the skis. So you can't change it up right before the start. Every once in a while you see some wax techs just frantically running to the start with a bunch of skis right before the start. I mean, it can be pretty close.
Well, the good news is that we can see on our left-hand shoulder, we're going to try to bring the winners over for the junior women and for the senior women as well, too. So the moment that they make their way, they're making their way over here right now. So let's get our microphone already, and we're going to get hopefully a conversation with both of these ladies. It looks like, here she comes. This is Miss Nishikawa, Emily Nishikawa, that we were talking about earlier, and they're exhausted.
Yeah,
so
totally exhausted. So, but yeah, great to be able to talk to them. I mean, obviously a very, very exciting race.
We're going to bring Emily in here. Come on, Emily. You can leave your skis over there. Come on, scooch in beside us here. Boy, oh boy, congratulations, first of all. Let's just grab a microphone here, and we're going to ask you to hold on to this microphone. Sure. And here, have a seat right beside us here. Emily, we talked last week, and have you had an incredible schedule? You just got back from Quebec,
yeah.
And the conditions, may we say, were a lot different than they are today.
Yeah. Quebec was beautiful sunny weather, but kind of cold overnight. Today it's pretty sloppy conditions. It's like ankle-deep slush, so it's a struggle for sure.
That final stretch, Steve and I were talking about it, that final stretch, it was more of a technical moment for you as well, and for a lot of the competitors. We could see the soupiness of the snow, the slushiness. Was it as difficult as it looked on camera?
Yeah, it was. So I noticed in my semifinal that the track on the downhill is actually quite slow, so if you're just outside of the track, it was quite a bit faster, so I used that in the final, and that...
Boy, did you ever.
Yeah, it really was a good tactic, so for sure I'm happy with the way I was able to ski that final downhill and into the finishing stretch.
Yeah. Now, Emily, how did you find that finishing straight? Like this morning, it seemed really firm and fast.
Yeah.
Is it slowing down quite a bit?
Oh yeah, it's a lot slower than this morning. Even just the glide out from the hill, you have to start working much earlier now with the slower conditions.
Yeah,
so.
we even saw some athletes striding that last bit.
Yeah, so it's definitely a real struggle, but kind of when I got the slingshot effect and kind of knew I was in the lead, that kind of gives you a bit extra motivation to really dig deep into the finish. And yeah.
One of your teammates was side by side right off the get-go. Now, you obviously know the strategy of a lot of these young ladies that you're actually competing against. Did you change your strategy for today's race, or you knew exactly what you wanted to do?
Well, Daria's an incredible sprinter, and she's a really good at tactical skills too. So she often gets me on the downhill, like I'm leading into it, and then she does the slingshot by me. So I was like, okay, what would Daria do today? And so I kind of got behind her on the downhill under the bridge, and then I got that slingshot effect today. So that worked out in my favor today. But I know, she's often really good tactically. So
now, you were a national champion yesterday in the distance race. How does it feel to be a national champion in a sprint race?
Come on.
Yeah, I think this is my first sprint win as a senior, so that's, I mean, I was feeling just exhausted today, so it kind of built through the day, and I felt better and better, and to come away with a national title, it's such an honor. Like every time you win a national championships, it's an amazing feeling. So
and it's great that you're here. You're in Quebec racing the World Cup. You had a very long season, but I know so many of the young athletes were so excited when I heard you were coming to race and to watch you race. So thank you so much for doing something like that.
No, it's my pleasure to be here. I was saying, when I was a young athlete and I got to meet national team athletes at the national championships, that was like, the highlight for me. So
you wanted to be there.
Yeah,
and you're there.
It's so important to me to be here, and even though I'm just kind of feeling exhausted after, this is my 5th race in 6 days. So,
yes, it is.
So to be here and to give it my best shot, and
you did. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
Now, you're originally from Whitehorse. Anything, this is broadcast around the world. Anything you want to say to your club back in
Whitehorse?
There
they are right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so honored to be from Whitehorse. The club is amazing. I mean, I'm so proud of the club. We have a really great program there. We've got 3 athletes on the national team at the moment, so that's pretty incredible, and so many up-and-comers, so I think anything's possible.
Well, for this young lady, Emily Nishikawa, maybe rest is in her future, because she certainly deserves it. There she is. She is your senior champion women's here at Canmore Nordic Center. Thank you very much, and congratulations once again.
Thanks so much.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure watching you. So after a long-fought battle, today's women's champions have been crowned, but anxiously awaiting are the men. We're coming back with the men. That's right. Here from Canmore Nordic Center, it's part of the Chasing Limits series here on Shaw TV. Stand by.
Hey, you too. Nice race. You didn't want...
Wycom Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit wycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
Shaw TV is home to the WHL regular season and the 2017 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 22 teams and we'll have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned as Chanel Cup champions. For complete broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
Center, and yes, this is where all the fun is. And congratulations to this young lady sitting beside us, Annika Richardson, the winner of the junior women's finals. How does that feel?
It feels pretty incredible. I was not really expecting that today, just going through each heat, telling myself, okay, hang on one more time. It's my 5th race in 6 days, so the body's just barely hanging in there.
We just a few moments ago talked to another young lady, Emily Nakashima.
Nishikawa.
We'll get it right. And I'm sure you look up to individuals like her.
Oh, absolutely. Like women's cross-country skiing in Canada, I mean, we're definitely working our way back to, hopefully the Becky Scott and Sarah Renna era. But it's always awesome to have someone like Emily who skis the World Cup full-time and is so approachable and easy to talk to.
Steve?
Yeah, now that finishing straight obviously got a lot harder than this morning, and you actually broke into a little bit of a stride, I think, on that finishing straight. How did you find that just from this morning and this afternoon?
Well, honestly, I felt a lot more warmed up in my final than I did in the qualifier. I just, being really tired after skiing a lot, and I wasn't sure if I could hold on, but yes, I did break into a stride just because my arms were quite tired, and I think it really worked in my semifinal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think with the conditions slowing down so much, it was actually a little bit faster to stride and don't pull.
And just stay relaxed. Yeah.
I'll give you a heads up here. In your semifinal time was 4:13, and your final time 4:06.
Whew, that's a lot faster.
You were pushing it. At the beginning of the race, though, it looked like there was going to be some competition for you. You actually initially took the lead at the beginning, but then you gave up the lead. Was that part of your strategy?
Not really.
You ever want to give up the lead?
But once Katie passed me kind of on the final climb, she was looking really good, really strong, and I was just trying to keep pace with her and hold on as much as I could and keep the limbs moving. And we went around that final corner under the bridge. It's just a little sketchy. It's quite slushy out there today.
It's very soupy around that corner.
Oh, yes.
Technically, you got to be alert.
Very light on your feet. And I just had our wax techs at NTDC TV did an incredible job. My skis were so fast on that downhill, and I was looking up and couldn't believe I was catching her, and that moment was like, okay, I can do this.
Well, that's really got to feel good when you're closing that gap. You actually, I think it was about a 4-second gap.
Yeah,
from the top of the hill. So that's got to feel really good inside when you're coming down that hill, knowing you've got that finishing straight to power through.
Absolutely, yeah. Having the confidence in your skis is something else.
Well, believe it, Annika, you are the champion for the junior women. That's got to sound nice.
It does. Thank you.
Anybody at home you want to say hi to?
I mean, my family, who's been so supportive of me pursuing skiing and a little bit of school on the side. Love you guys, and thanks for the support.
Oh, couldn't have said it any better. Okay, well, the good news is we're not done yet here from Canmore. The men's competition is coming up. The juniors and the seniors stand by for that. We're coming back to Canmore Nordic Center as part of the Chasing Limit series. You're on Shaw TV. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Wycom Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit wycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
Shaw TV is home to the WHL regular season and the 2017 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 22 teams and will have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned as Chanel Cup champions. For complete broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
incredible volunteers. And this is Whitney, and this is Tara. Tara, you actually are you from Canmore?
I am from Canmore. I've been here 20 years.
And you decided that this is something you want to be a part of.
Absolutely. I don't have any kids in the races. I just love the sport. And I thought, what a great way to support it, to come out and hang out and get to know the athletes.
So what are some of the things that you're doing?
I put up a lot of this fence that you see behind us right now.
Oh, that's you.
I have moved that fence many times, and we are also, both of us are working in the finish line, so looking after the kids when they come over and making sure that they're okay, getting their bibs, just basically babysitting them.
And when you say we, I guess we should include you too, Whitney. Whitney, now you're not from the Canmore area, you're from Calgary.
Yes, I am.
But you're all the way out here.
Yes, my daughter skis with Foothills Nordic in Calgary.
What's her name?
Her daughter. My daughter's name is Tanisha.
Hi, Tanisha.
She is too young to be skiing here, but I've just really enjoyed and appreciated how much skiing and being part of the ski community gives to her, and I wanted to be able to contribute and give back and support some of the skiers here.
Wow, yeah. Again, volunteers is what makes it. You know, when you see those racers come across the end, Tara, they're exhausted.
Yeah,
It's like they need a hug.
And actually, some of them are quite emotional, and we do give them a hug. But yeah, they are exhausted, and they have weird things coming out of them, and their skis are all over the place, and it can be a little gross sometimes.
I bet it can, but it can be a lot of fun. Whitney, someone who wants to volunteer but is on the cusp of deciding if they want to, what would you say to them?
There are many, many different ways to volunteer, either at events like this or just with local clubs. And I think that they can, if they have an interest, check out some of the clubs or some of the competitions online and talk to people who already participate. It's easy to give as much or as little time as you want, and many, many, many different roles.
Oh, yeah. And you get to spend a day on the sunshine and hang out with some two beautiful ladies. Ladies, thank you very much.
Look at him.
Volunteers are the ones who put this together, and they are truly amazing. More from the Canmore Nordic Center and more from here coming up on Shaw TV.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
Shaw TV is home to the WHL regular season and the 2017 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 22 teams and will have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned as Chanel Cup champions. For complete broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
One of the elements that a lot of these racers are dealing with is what's in my hand. No, it's not Jack, but it is the snow. It's something that a lot of these athletes are coming to you, Jack, as a wax tech, as a coach, and saying, help me, coach. What do I do? What kind of advice would you give them when you see conditions like this here at Canmore?
Well, it's very warm, obviously. It's +10, and we have man-made snow, so we're in a condition that's called, we use wax that's called clister.
Clister, yeah.
Very sticky, comes out of a tube just like toothpaste, and all of us have our own little special formulas that we want to use. What we're trying to do is to have a ski that has both really good grip, so they can get up the hills, but also a really good glide so they can get back down.
Boy, that's worth your weight in gold if you have that answer.
Absolutely. And, the other thing about it is it's also very expensive to do. The waxes that we're using are fluorocarbon based, and you probably have $100 worth of wax on every ski that's out here.
Come on.
Oh, no, it's very expensive.
Okay, so then an athlete, walk us through this. An athlete comes to you and says, help, Coach Jack.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I should do here. How much time do you need to actually prepare the ski?
So we started preparing the skis yesterday.
Okay. But it wasn't like this yesterday.
Yeah, no, but there's a weather forecast, and every once in a while it's right.
Yeah.
And it was okay today. So we start doing the glide zones yesterday and getting prepared and getting them cleaned and getting them ready to go. And we were here at 6:30 this morning, starting to wax and starting to test the waxes that we wanted for glide, to test the waxes we wanted for grip. Once we made some decisions, then we started to wax the skis, and we had the first skis ready for about 10 o'clock. So it was a 3.5, 4-hour process this morning.
Right.
Then after the race, we come back for the heats, so we take the skis back. We fix them up if we need to fix them up, change them.
Jeez, man.
Conditions changed,
yeah.
So we have to do more. We have to do some different stuff now this afternoon because it's gotten warmer.
If you're wondering about the behind the scenes, it's this guy who totally understands it. Your team, let's show that off a little bit.
Oh, we've been done well so far. So this morning in the senior men's, Joey Foster from Team Hardwood was the second best qualifier, the first Canadian.
Wonderful.
So he led our way. Ryan Jackson, who is racing right now in the junior men's, was on the podium yesterday. Was second in the classic race yesterday. So this is another classic race, and we're hoping for the same thing from him. So far we've had a great event. We've had 4 medals so far, which is great for us. And we're looking for more, we hope, today.
We talk about this being a spectator sport. Why not be out here and enjoy it just as much as Jack and I? Mind you, probably spend most of your time in behind closed doors.
Oh, well, yesterday I didn't actually get out of the wax room until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so you'll probably see more than I did.
Well, that's how it's done here in Canmore. It's the Canmore Nordic Center. More from here coming up on Shaw TV. Thanks, Jack.
It was good.
Thanks, buddy.
Well done.
Appreciate
Thanks,
your
guys.
time.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
Shaw TV is home to the WHL regular season and the 2017 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 22 teams and will have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned as Chanel Cup champions. For complete broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
I'm not special. Cancer happens to people all the time. I take 1 mile at a time, 26 miles a day. I want to set an example that'll never be forgotten. Sometimes, it feels endless. But the pain I feel is nothing. I've seen little kids in so much pain. Somewhere, the hurting must stop.
Terry Fox ran more than halfway across Canada to raise money for cancer research. Every year, millions of people around the world continue the marathon of hope in his name.
Welcome back to the Canmore Nordic Center. Timo, who is the team coach for Team Ontario, based out of Thunder Bay. What's the hill like out there?
Well, it's we've had a strong history of cross-country skiing in Thunder Bay for many, many years. We actually were going to have the national championships, the same event in Thunder Bay next year.
Oh, nice.
So we're looking forward to that.
All right, so how does this facility compare?
Canmore is beautiful. It's an Olympic venue. There's no facility that's any better in Canada, really. I mean, I like our little venue in Thunder Bay, but this is world class here. So,
Timo, let's show off your athletes. Who should we be looking for?
We just had 3 medals this morning with the women.
Congratulations.
Our junior women's team were first and third, and then in the senior women we had a girl in bronze. So,
for the men,
the men we have Bob Thompson in senior men. As well as Angus Foster and Evan Palmer-Charette, 3 of the favorites. And then in the junior men, we have 2 guys skiing named Fergus Foster and Levi Nadler-Smith.
That's who we should be looking for.
They're not necessarily sprinters, but they could get into the semifinals today, which would be great for them.
When you see a facility like this and a day like this where it's been rainy, it's been sunny, it's been everything, what do you say to your athletes?
Well, first thing, it's been a long season, so I'm telling all my athletes that everybody out here has been quite tired, and it's all the mental game now. So if you can be tough mentally, then you'll do well today. And the girls were tough today, and they showed it.
He's one of the coaches here across Canada who has some incredible teammates and incredible athletes who are performing today here at Canmore Nordic Center, and so far, not so bad. More from the Canmore Nordic Center here on Shaw TV, part of the Chasing Limits series.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
Shaw TV is home to the WHL regular season and the 2017 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 22 teams and will have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned as Chanel Cup champions. For complete broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
Her name is Kate Boyd. She must be official. She's got her own name on this water bottle. Kate, you are the National Para-nordic Development Coach that you've been doing for how long?
Just a year and a half.
And what exactly does it involve?
I'm supporting the athletes kind of on the development pathway towards earning a spot on the national team for Para-nordic.
Okay, so these athletes that you're talking about, the Para-nordic athletes, describe that athlete.
Oh, there's a number of different athletes, different abilities and skill sets.
Such as?
We've got sit skiers, we've got standing skiers with different impairments, and we've got visually impaired skiers as well.
So you're up for a whole wealth of challenges. You can't be doing this by yourself.
No, we've got a wealth of very talented coaches across the country that are supporting the athletes in their home clubs. And then we get together for regional camps, and we have a national camp out here every November. And we support the athletes when they come to international events.
And Kate, some of these Para-nordic athletes are actually competing tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a few athletes out here, some young athletes just coming up through the ranks, some 15, 16-year-olds, super keen, developing, and it's fun to watch their progress and watch them skiing out here against the able-bodied athletes too.
Have you found that the Para-nordics division has actually increased over time because of awareness?
Slowly, yeah. I think being at an event like this helps grow the awareness in the Nordic community as a whole. So rather than having separate events when we're here and we're integrated, I think it benefits everybody.
Here we are at Canmore Nordic Center. You've been here plenty of times before. Is this uncommon to see conditions like this? I mean, here we are. I can take my jacket off right now. It is so warm. This is a little unusual, would you say?
For this time of year, yeah, I'd say it's a little bit warm. It's slushy.
Yeah.
But, this is what we do. We race in every condition, and you prepare your skis and you prepare your athletes for anything.
One of the things we've also realized, too, that you wouldn't be anything unless you had great sponsors as well.
Absolutely. We've got some great support from our sponsors and the community as a whole.
Yeah. It's fun. This is fun. You enjoy this.
Absolutely. It's the best job in the world.
Okay, Boyd, we appreciate it and all the stuff that you do, too. And look for some of those Para-nordic athletes. They're out there, and they are proud, and they are good.
They're very good.
They're good. More from Canmore Nordic Center coming up here on Shaw TV, part of the Chasing Limits series.
YCOM Solutions, a proud supporter of the Chasing Limits series and Alberta amateur sports. Visit ycom.ca for details on their full list of communication products and services.
Shaw TV is home to the WHL regular season and the 2017 WHL playoffs. The journey will start with 22 teams and we'll have all the hits, the saves, and the goals until one team is crowned as Chanel Cup champions. For complete broadcast information, visit shawtv.ca or whl.ca.
Welcome again to the Canmore Nordic Center from Canmore, Alberta, Canada, the site of the 2017 Ski Nationals. This is Chasing Limits on Shaw TV. Surrounded by the majesty that is the Rocky Mountains, we welcome you into the stadium at the Canmore Nordic Center for the 2017 Ski Nationals. Alongside Steve Scholes, my name is Phoenix, excited to show you the cross-country long sprints, classic technique, open category for men. Steve, the weather seems to want to change on a regular basis, and in the last few minutes, we've got clouds. The conditions may be different in the next 15 minutes.
Absolutely. And conditions are definitely playing a role here in Canmore all week. You know, we've had heavy rain showers, lots of snow, wind, sunshine, cloudiness, and it's changing throughout the day. And we're seeing the conditions change dramatically from this morning when it was icy fast, and now it's warming up. The sun has been out to a certain extent, and it's really melting the snow, making it really, really slushy, slowing it down and making this course extremely tough, slowing it down, making it really hard on these athletes, and it's taking some really strong athletes to take victory here today.
Well, if there's anybody worth their weight in gold, it's the ski techs. These guys are unbelievable. Not only do they help out with the athletes, but they also have to help them with the skis. The conversations that are happening behind the scenes must be absolutely incredible. Earlier, we were talking to a ski tech who said, you know what? We were here at 6 o'clock this morning, which was about 6 hours ago, and we thought we knew what the conditions would be. And here we are 6 hours later, and we're still busy at work.
Yeah, it's completely changed from this morning. And I know we saw in the women's races, the waxing made a huge difference. We saw in our junior women's race, Annika Richardson closing a 3 or 4 second gap on the final downhill just because she had better glide in her skis. And these athletes are also trying to figure out whether it's faster on the track or outside of the track, but I know I was talking to some of the Thunder Bay wax technicians, and they were pretty proud of their skis in the women's race. But now that these wax techs have had a little more time to test things and try things out, I think maybe it'll equal things out a little bit for our men, but definitely the glide waxing is definitely an issue, and also the kick waxing. Generally, skiers going with Clister, and we're seeing some skiers great grip, but not and other skiers not so great a grip and having to actually go into a herringbone style on some of these steep climbs.
Well, you mentioned a few moments ago the men, and that's what we are getting ourselves ready for. It is a 1.3-kilometer sprint for the junior men. We have the junior category and the senior category that you will see today. There are 2 heats for the juniors, 2 heats for the seniors. This is the first group of the junior men, starting off with Daniel Strains.
Yeah, Daniel is actually an American athlete, but he was our first qualifier today. He skis for Mountain Endurance Sports out of the U.S., and he was actually first at the U.S. Juniors in the relay. So he's a very, very strong skier out of the States. So this is, even though it's the Canadian Championships, American foreign athletes are allowed to race. They don't qualify for medals, but they qualify for cash prizes on the final placings.
And again, there are 2 semifinals for the men. You just saw the first 6. They are groups of 6. Here is the second group of 6. Again, with the one to watch is competitor number 1, Michael Mashak-Jones.
Yeah, he was actually the 8th qualifier, but he had a great in the heats. He did really well. He's with the Rocky Mountain Racers and the Alberta World Cup Academy. Etienne Hubert from Quebec is a very, very strong sprinter. He's definitely someone that I'm sure has been circled this day on his calendar for quite some time. He loves the sprints, and I think he's definitely going to go for it today. Gareth Williams, he was our champion yesterday in the distance classic race. In his qualifier, he's starting to look a little bit tired because he did race in Quebec at the World Cup, but he's certainly someone that to watch because the course is so hard and challenging. It becomes a little more favors the endurance athlete than the sprint type athlete. So we'll see how he can handle things over the course of the day here.
Well, this championship is over the course of 7 days. There's, I believe, 5 or 6 days of those, which is racing. And a number of athletes have gathered here from all across Canada. Why not? This is the premier event, and we're so excited to bring it to you. Again, the magnificent landscape that is Canmore, and here at the stadium of Canmore Nordic Center. This is a brilliant place, a brilliant facility. We've heard from numerous coaches, Steve, that have just continued to praise this facility. Give us a feel for why this is such a great place.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously the scenery, I mean, you can see on the camera, I mean, you're surrounded by beautiful mountains, and actually Sunday's races, we had them doing some avalanche blasts in the background. So it was kind of like winter fireworks.
Yep.
But yeah, just fantastic scenery, obviously, but also the history. The 88 Olympics were here, and perhaps the 2026 Olympics might come back. There's been numerous World Cup events here. We had the absolutely fantastic Ski Tour Canada finish up the World Cup races last year here. It's also, they've got really challenging courses. I mean, these are Olympic World Cup caliber courses, so it's really challenging, really really pushes these athletes. So that's
Absolutely.
why they love this course. Yeah.
What you're looking at there, you saw some athletes a few moments ago. It's the finals of the quarterfinals, actually. And then what we're going to do is eventually show you the semifinals. So this is just quarterfinal action right now. I was talking earlier, too, to a number of the volunteers that are a part of this. And as you see, a great shot of the stadium here at Canmore Nordic Center. There are so many volunteers that are sprinkled into that shot.
Yeah, the volunteers here at the Canmore Nordic Center are almost legendary. You know, many of them have been working here almost since the 1988 Olympics. So, yeah, we got great volunteer support, and that really makes the Canmore, national championships here just that much more fantastic.
Giving you a little bonus coverage. Again, these are the quarterfinals. These gentlemen are trying to get themselves into the finals. We were talking earlier with the women's champions, and both of them had competed over the last couple of days. To say that they were exhausted would be an understatement, but these athletes trained for this. The health of these athletes is unbelievable.
Oh, absolutely.
And you've seen it firsthand.
Yeah, well, Emily Nishikawa obviously showing off her fitness. You know, again, this is a really hard course, and she really excelled on that final, after 4 times around this sprint circuit through the heats and the qualifiers and the semifinals and so forth. So yeah, it's definitely our women have been doing really, really well. And you know, I think just in general, talking about health, but the health of Canadian cross-country skiing has been absolute dynamite. I mean, obviously, one thing at Canmore Nationals on Sunday, we had the largest ever numbers for a single national championship event in history.
Fantastic.
On the same weekend, we had the World Cup going on in Quebec. We placed 5 men in the Quebec World Cup sprint heats. And obviously Alex Harvey, of course, winning a world championship, winning the sprint in Quebec.
Right.
He won the world championship 50K. So Canadian skiing super, super healthy right now, and that's great coming into a pre-Olympic year with Olympics next year in Korea.
Even the Para-nordics as well, too. We were talking to Kate Boyd, who is an actual coach for the Para-nordics team, and she was also saying the same thing, too, that the level of talent that these athletes have is truly phenomenal. We're doing something right here in Canada.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just, Para-Nordic is doing great. The national team doing great. So, I'm so happy for Canadian cross-country skiing, all the improvements they've made, and just keeping an eye here on this race. I'm excited for all this racing, and that looks like Joey Foster. Actually, again, this is the heats. It takes a look over his shoulder. But Joey Foster, actually, his mother is Angela Schmidt Foster, who raced for Team Canada at the Olympics here in 1988.
Fantastic.
And I ran into her.
Look at that.
Oh, that's the Godfrey. I love that. That's the Godfrey twins here in Canmore.
Yeah.
And I'm calling them the Godfather twins because they've been ruthless in their racing. They actually they won the relay cross.
That's beautiful.
On Saturday, and they were first and second on the Sunday races, and they did great yesterday. So that was the Godfather twins. That's a lot of great support.
Of course,
local support for them. So
we should say congratulations to you too, Steve. Let me just read this here. Mr. Scholes here beside me. 2017 USA Vasaloppet winner.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, that's a race out in the U.S. Whereabouts?
Yeah, it's down in Minnesota. It's quite a historical race. It's based on the Swedish Vasaloppet, which is one of the biggest races in Europe for the distance events. And there's a town called Mora, Minnesota. The Swedish Vasaloppet is in Mora, Sweden, and they hold I think it's almost 40 years they've held the USA Vasaloppet.
Love it. And you won it this year.
I won the classic race.
Wow.
I was the oldest ever winner.
Oldest at 25. Good on you.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. So that gives me some credentials here to do the play-by-play here for the
Oh,
for
that's
the event.
fantastic.
But yeah, no, it was great season. And one thing. I mean, we have a little bit of time before we jump into the heats, but I do. One thing in skiing that I don't think has fully been grasped is the ability to use quantitative data in training. In cycling, they use power data and really revolutionized the training. And I can say I use power data in my training for cross-country skiing and made some dramatic improvements in my double pole technique, which you'll see here. So I think cross-country skiing still has a lot to gain from quantitative analysis. Just trying to get some more and more science into the sport. It's very tricky in skiing. It's not like you're running on a track where you can get lap times and the conditions are the same every time. Here the conditions are changing dramatically from 1 hour to the next. So it's hard to get all that quantitative analysis, but it's something I use to further my performance, and I think it's something that can be used more in the world of cross-country skiing.
And you found some success. Congratulations
Absolutely.
to you, Steve. I'm
Thank
sitting
you
beside
very
a
much.
champion. I love that. Well, as a champion, you've seen so many different conditions as well, too. The conditions of this course. This morning when you and I were here, we had a chance to look it over and witness it. Now we've witnessed the women's competition earlier today, but give us an idea of the course and how it's being maintained.
Yeah, so one thing that's happening, because it's so soft, like you could have a really good snowball fight right now. The snow is really clumping together, really wet, and so what they're trying to do is on some of the corners, it gets so washed out. You've got all these athletes going through, and it pushes that loose snow to the side, and you're getting down to some really tricky ice around those corners. So, yeah, they're having to continually rake the corners. And this is actually...
This is the final heat of the quarterfinals.
That's correct, yeah. And one of the athletes in here in white, just, we can talk a little bit about this, is Moritz Madlener, who's a foreign athlete with the University of Denver. He was actually one of our top qualifiers, so he's looking to make it into the semifinal. But we've got not only the top Canadians here, but we've also got some top U.S. And foreign athletes racing. Just they want to mix it up with the Canadians. Canadian skiing has seen really good depth in the sprint technique. Again, in Quebec in the World Cup, we had 5 Canadian men make it into the heats in the top 30. So that's where a lot of foreign athletes, American athletes, want to come and compare themselves to some of the top Canadians here. Now, not all of the top Canadians here. Alex Harvey, who recently placed 3rd overall in the World Cup and won the World Championship 50K, he's actually right now in Korea, checking out the courses
conditions, yeah.
and the conditions out in Korea for the Olympics next year. So he's taking an opportunity to do some recon of those courses. So he is not here. Lenny Valius is not racing. He's probably one of the best Canadian sprinters. But we do have the likes of Jesse Cottney, who's been doing super well on the World Cup. Bob Thompson, who's been racing on the World Cup. So we've got a number of the top Canadians here. Julian Locke, another Canadian team member. So, yeah, a lot of great Canadians here that are going to be battling it out with some top foreign skiers as well.
And their sights set for, of course, the Olympics coming up.
Absolutely. And the Olympic sprint race will be a classic sprint race just like this. So a lot of these athletes, they're focused on that event. They're trying to get some good form, get some good momentum into the summer, start to show what the skills they have. They'll still have to qualify for the Olympics next season for the men. We already have some women that have pre-qualified for the Olympics. But, yeah, the spectators... we can see getting ready here to cheer on our athletes in the semifinals coming up very shortly.
Well, it is a spectator sport, they say.
Absolutely, yeah.
One of the things that we're finding as well, too, as we enjoy some great shots here from Canmore Nordic Center, is that there are people who are actually honestly coming out here and watching the sport. This is a spectator sport. We're not quite there here in Canada as we watch the remainder of the quarterfinal sprints here for the gentlemen, but in Europe, in other parts of Canada, this sport has really taken on. In Alberta, how would you rank it?
Oh, yeah, it's
pretty popular.
Oh, absolutely, pretty popular. And Canmore, Alberta, huge fields in their local races, the Alberta Cup races. We had an Alberta Cup here in Canmore in November, and we had about 450 athletes. Again, a lot of top athletes around the world come to Canmore to train. But yeah, lots of great spectating.
Absolutely.
And the fans are really getting into it. We had some very exciting racing in our women's races. And,
he won too. The gentleman you were talking about a few moments ago.
Moritz Madelainer will be going on. And looks like Jesse Cogney will be going on. And then we have some lucky losers to figure out as well.
Well, let's talk about this. Here is the first semifinal. It's already been decided that these 6 gentlemen in the first of 2 semifinals are going to be the, here's your list. Strines, Ballou, Wasmuth, Godfrey, Ritchie, and Stollery. No surprises here.
No, I think Daniel Strines, he's a U.S. athlete, really good sprinter. So he's definitely one of the favorites, I think, overall for the final. Nicolas Beaulieu from Orford, Quebec. He's a little bit stronger on the skate side, but I know he was disappointed in his skate racing on the weekend. So I think he's chopping at the bit to get in a good performance here. So I think those definitely the skiers to watch.
We have also the names of the second semifinal as well, too, here. Hebert, Blaise, Williams, Zeshko. I mean, all of these here are your group for the second heat. As we're about to begin in about 15 seconds, we've just got word we're 15 seconds away from the 1.3-kilometer sprint open for the junior men. It's a cross-country ski nationals here from Canmore Nordic Center. The beautiful shot of our stadium. We have cameras right through this entire 1.3-kilometer course here that we will show you. Here we go. This is the first of the 2 semifinals. They start off, Steve, with a flat right off the start, but then into a steady climb. This is the beginning of the first of 2 semifinals for the junior men.
Yeah, so this is another close start here. And in this course, they got a little bit of flat at the start, and then they go up to the top of the course, and then a long downhill. And it's been surprising how critical that downhill has been in the glide that you get on that downhill. Now, sometimes you'll see in a classic sprint, if the course isn't too steep, they'll be double poling the entire course. But this is a tough course, plus it's slowed down so much. I don't think we'll see any athlete double poling here, as we got some fans running alongside these athletes.
You'll find that once they get to the top, there's a left-hand turn, then a slight downhill. Then they will face a second uphill, right-hand turn halfway up that. That'll be the high point of this course. Then they come on a descent, which has a sharp right-hand turn just underneath the bridge. We've been talking about this right-hand turn. We'll get to it in a few moments. And then a flat right to the finish. It's about 150 meter sprint right to the finish. So this race is not over by any means. We saw with the women's competition earlier today that could be a difference maker.
Yeah, so we've got just coming into the second part of this climb. This is where the climb really, really steepens up. And they've also got to be careful coming around this corner. There is a section where it's not tracked and they can push around that corner, but they always have to be clear that they're maintaining the classic technique.
And is Daniel Strines in the lead right now with just a bare lead, not too much to do, but I'll tell you right now, he's trying to keep a pace right now to make sure that he makes it into the finals. Again, what Steve mentioned a few moments ago, the top 2 will make it into the final, and then there are 2 lucky loser spots.
Yeah, that's right. So usually on the semifinals and the heats, often the strategy will be just go hard, keep it safe, and make sure you qualify. Sprinting, there's always a certain amount of luck involved. You can break a pole, you can get caught in a fall or something like that, and you really don't have enough distance to make up a mistake like that. But at the same time, you're trying to conserve energy so that you've got energy left for the final.
Here's that downhill we were talking about.
Yeah, so this is a long downhill. They've got this tricky corner through the descent. So it looks like we've got Daniel in the lead.
Underneath the bridge, and this is the technical part of this course. As you see our next shot, you'll see right there a soupy mix of snow.
Yeah, so we got Daniel in the lead. Then we got Nicolas Beaulieu from Orford, Quebec in second. And then it looks like 2:07.
That is Larkin Wasmuth.
Yeah, so Larkin Wasmuth, he's a Alberta skier, and he actually won the Alberta Cup, the local race series for his age group. And it looks like
look at Daniel Strines. He's looking over his shoulder because he knows he's up for a race here. The top 2 will advance to the finals. It's a 3-person race right now. These guys are double pulling, and again, they are about 100 meters away from the finish. They can see it pulling away. It looks like Nicolas Belot. He is trying his best to keep the stride, and he's doing it so far. Behind him, Daniel Strines.
And Larkin Walsmith trying to make a move on the outside. That descent has been a factor again, but Nicholas Beaulieu from Orford trying to get into the final, trying to make up for his unfortunate skate result this week. And Nicholas Beaulieu is going to do it, but Daniel Strain, or is Larkin Walsmith? I think it was Walsmith.
That was close.
Oh, Walsmith is going to be really happy with that performance here to get into the final for the junior men.
There's Reed Godfrey, who's coming across the line right now in the final two competitors, including Graham Ritchie and Derek Stollery.
Our second semifinal heat.
Let's take a look at that final again.
208, Michael McIsaac-Jones. Descendant de Etienne Hébert, le descendant de Antoine Blais.
Nicholas Beaulieu, he's getting up off his heels. Beautiful double pull and chest up, and that makes the difference here. Larkin Walsmith, nice done. Go with the bare hands today in the heat here, and Larkin Walsmith. This may be his best ever junior men's sprint final. Now getting into the final. So great job of the young Alberta skier.
And Larkin Westmouth is in second position, and Derek Stollery will also be advancing. By the way, the separation between Nicholas and Larkin was a difference of
0.27 of a second.
0.27 of a, wow.
Yeah, so we'll see if Daniel can make it on to the final. One athlete that didn't make it, I don't think he's going to make it in the final, Reed Godfrey, who was in fourth, who's had a very strong week. And actually, Reed Godfrey was the U.S. National Junior Sprint champion, so it shows the quality of the field. Maybe Reed starting to show some of the signs of doing great racing early in the week, but now starting to tire out a little bit.
Second semifinal, here it is. This is the junior men. Two of them will advance to the finals. Two of them will get the lucky loser's position. And off they go. Here they are. There are 6 men, including McIsaac-Jones, Hébert, Blais, Williams, Matulich, and Zeko.
Yeah, Michael McIsaac-Jones from the Rocky Mountain Racers and the Alberta World Cup Academy. I think he had a very good qualifier, qualifying in 8th place for the junior men. And that looks like him on, I believe, on the kind of on the left-hand side as they go up the climb. So far, look, they've challenged that climb pretty good. Looks like they've got pretty good grip.
This course has 4 tracks, enough room for each of these athletes to move, to change their positions. As you can see, 228, Nick Matulich, who's trying to attack these guys from the outside, but then goes back in behind as they're making their way up this steep hill.
Yeah, so they've got a little bit of a left-hand corner, a little bit of a downhill where they get some rest, but then they've got this really steep climb that winds up to the top, and generally that's where we've seen it. If an athlete is thinking more, I'm stronger in the climbs, this is where they start to really push the pace here on the steeper climb. But that's Michael McIsaac-Jones, your early leader in this second semifinal for the junior men.
Steve, you mentioned taking a rest. There's only a 3.5-minute time that these guys are completing this course. Not much time for a rest, but they will have an opportunity near the end where they get in a tucked position. But again, as we see through the halfway point of this course, these guys are fighting hard. They're trying to make it into the semifinals. This is the time that each one of them is jockeying for position, but also making sure they don't lose sight of the lead.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, it's the top 2 that advance to the final, but you're still trying to, if you're not in that top 2, still trying to get a good time to be a lucky loser. But so far, Michael McIsaac-Jones looking very strong, but the skier, was that 228? That was Nick Matulich, I believe?
Yes, yep.
209. 209. So that's Etienne Hébert. So he is a very, very strong sprinter.
He's taking the lead. Actually, I just noticed a few moments ago, he is actually just taking the lead as we see the remainder of this 6
and Etienne
member
competed for the Canadian team at the World Junior Championships recently in Utah. A very, very good sprinter. This is his day. This is when he wants to perform. And so far, he's tackling this tricky corner here. The athletes are telling me it's really, you can see it start to get it ruddy.
Starting to erode, yep.
Yeah, exactly. But now we'll see this descent. It's surprised how important this descent is because
he's already double pumping. Look at that.
Yeah. Whereas Michael McIsaac-Jones was just sitting in the draft right there.
Look for these 2 gentlemen. Who's going to take this semifinal? Again, a reminder, the top 2 in this heat will advance to the finals. It's the 3rd spot that is something that you've got to consider. competitor number 202, Antoine Blais, who's back and he sees the two in front of him. He knows he's got to be a part of this pack. Is he going to be able to push ahead? We're going to find out. What a final here. Competitor 208, 209, Michael McIsaac-Jones and Etienne Hébert.
I don't think there's enough real estate here for Antoine, but you never count him out here. And he's looks like
McIsaac-Jones.
Yeah, McIsaac-Jones is going to take it.
And Etienne Hébert will advance to the final. We'll find out whether or not Antoine Blais will actually make it as part of the lucky loser spots.
That's correct.
Wow.
And it looks like Gareth Williams coming in here. He was our champion yesterday in the classic race, but he's starting to show a little bit of wear and tear.
Yes,
but
indeed.
He raced 3 days in Quebec as a junior athlete and won yesterday. I think this is his sixth race in 6 or 7 days. So well done for Gareth to make it to the semifinal.
Absolutely magnificent conditions here at the Canmore Nordic Center. As you can see, the athletes are lined up on the bottom right-hand part of your screen because we're going to focus our attention to now the senior men. We saw the junior men's semifinals. Again, with the senior men, there are 2 semifinals as well, too. And they line up. We've got a great contention here. This is it. You know, when again, I can't again remind you about the conditions here as we see what these guys are up against. But here is the first semifinal for the senior men.
Yeah, so we've got a Norwegian, skis for the University of Denver, Dag Frode Tolbo, and Julian Locke from Blackjack Club, a real strong up-and-coming skier. Evan Palmer-Charette out of Thunder Bay, Bob Thompson also out of the Thunder Bay, and Julian Smith. And then we've got Dominic Monsian-Gru, who skis here in Canmore. So we've got 3 teammates from the Thunder Bay team here. And Thunder Bay has had really good skis today, so we'll see how that shapes up. But I think, you know, that Dag Frode from, I think he's from Oslo, Norway. Yes, he is from Oslo. Definitely has some Norwegian background here. Certainly a strong nation, but we'll see. I think the Canadians can maybe knock out the Norwegian here.
One thing we know for sure: each of these athletes have been on this course. They know what to expect, and they know the athletes beside them. Yeah. One of the things that they have to decide is when and who will take the lead. It's part of the whole strategy here. It's about a 3.5, 4-minute course. And look, an early lead already.
Oh, my goodness. That was a huge gap that Dag Frode put on the rest of the field, but Evan Palmer-Charette deciding to go with him. Oh, my goodness. That you normally don't see quite that large of a gap early on, but obviously Dag Frode showing some very strong double pole technique. But I think Evan Palmer-Charette looking pretty good. Looks like he's got pretty good grip, and he's probably ready to go here with Dag Frode.
You do not want to lose. Oh, you see a little slip there, but you do not want to lose sight of the leader. It could be, again, part of Dag Frode's strategy that he wants to get that early lead, and he's done it so far. The question is, will the remaining 4 be able to catch him? This well, it's the start of the race. There's still time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he's just decided. It looks like he's just going to go from the gun and push the pace and let him, himself control the race. Like again, sprinting, there's so much luck involved. It's not only just skill and fitness. You don't want to, if you hold back, you might get caught up in a crash, someone break your pole, or you just get caught behind the wrong person in the finishing straight. But Dag Frode really powering away here.
Evan Palmer-Charette, though, does not want to let him go.
Yeah, Evan Palmer-Charette, he's a very strong skate skier. He actually won this year the Sleeping Giant Loppet in Thunder Bay, and he was the winner last year. And really a strong, developing young athlete. He actually raced in Quebec at the World Cup. So Evan Palmer-Charette showing some great form here. Wow, that is a massive gap. I mean, that's looking like what? Maybe about 5, 6 seconds.
That's an eternity.
Yeah, absolutely, in a sprint race like this. So now this downhill, this downhill has played a huge part in our women's race. So we'll see if Evan is able to close the gap here on the downhill. But that's looking about 6 seconds, and that's still only one skier. Like, it's not the rest of the pack.
At this point, you probably want to take your time if you're in the top 2, because at this time, you know that you're going to be assured a spot in the finals.
Yeah, hopefully they have a coach there that's saying, hey, ease up. You've got a gap, because, this could be really critical going into the final when you can just rest at this point. Yeah, see, now he looks over his
his
shoulder.
yeah.
Dag Freda says, holy crap, I can't believe I got that much of a lead. And Evan, hopefully Evan, yeah, he looks over his
behind,
shoulder.
yeah.
So these guys are just going to soft pedal it into the finish. And
understandably,
great for Evan for the final here.
Magnificent shots here by our crew here at Shaw TV, part of the Chasing Limit series, and I have a feeling these two gentlemen are probably going to cross the finish line pretty close to the same time because they realize how far they are ahead. Now their focus will be on the finals.
And I'm really keen to see the time for this heat. Were they that dramatically faster? Well, I guess we'll have to see our next heat, but I just wanted to see how they compared to our junior athletes. But wow,
that was quite
gap.
a burst out the gate.
Yeah, I mean, most of these races have come right down to the final sprint, and they're just desperate down that final 50, 100 meters. But no problem for Dag Freda and Evan.
And you see the remainder of the athletes coming across here as well, too. Here is our second semifinal for the senior men, the 1.3-kilometer sprint. And
yeah, so we've got Moritz Madlener. He's another foreign athlete skiing for the University of Denver. Had some great results at the NCAA championships a couple weeks ago. Joey Foster, who had a great heat. We just got a little bit of it. Jesse Cockney, I think probably the top Canadian sprinter in the field. Michael Sompy from Thunder Bay, who's had some great racing. And Knut Jonsgaard, who struggled, I think, a little bit yesterday, but he is a World Cup skier for Canada.
we have the time for that first heat. The top time was 3:18.56. So
yeah, so that was pretty fast. And compared to the first heats, that was significantly faster. So Evan and Dag Freda showing some insane form here.
Here we go with the second semifinal. 6 are ready to go, waiting for the start. Again, spectators enjoying this. You see a number of flags out here as well, too. Sponsors have jumped on board this, and why not? What a fantastic event this is. The 2017 Canadian Cross Country Ski Nationals. There they are. The second heat is underway.
So the skier on the right of your screen, that is Michael Sompy. Then we've got in that white with a little bit of red on the legs, that's University of Denver. That's Moritz Denver. That's Moritz Madlener. He's actually born in Munich, Germany. So Moritz, your early leader, and I guess it looks like Denver is saying, we're going to go out fast right from the start.
He might take the advice that we had Dag Freda do a few minutes ago.
Yeah, they're both on the same university team, and I always wonder, like, should these guys be in class right now? I don't know why they're here, but anyways, the University of Denver is here, and they're doing quite well here with their two foreign athletes, Dag Freda and now Moritz Madlener. Michael Sompy there in second, 3:09. That's Antoine Briand. See, they're breaking into a little bit of a herringbone here. Again, they're trying to balance the kick and the glide. You know, with that long downhill, you don't want to have too aggressive kick such that you're holding yourself back on the descent. So far, Moritz.
There's that left-hand turn.
Yeah, a little bit of a rest here, and then the steep climb to the top of the course.
Once you get to the top, though, you know it's all down here from there.
Yeah, exactly. But that downhill has been so critical. Again, saw it in the women's race that our junior women's national championship was really decided on the downhill, just based on the glide, how that separated two athletes, Katie Weaver and Annika Richardson. But right now, this is our second heat for the men's semifinals, and they're still pretty much all together. You know, they're kind of spreading out across the track, and they still have this little bit to the top of the climb, and then that long downhill.
Madlener in the lead. You can see him on the outside, just going past your screen right now. But for second spot, it's anyone's guess.
Yeah, there's about 4 athletes there, and again, it's the top 2 that move forward, and then you've got the lucky loser positions after that.
Are you watching the athlete in front of you to determine what your style will be based on what they're doing?
A little bit, but it's so dependent on your wax, what strengths you have. You're not. I mean, you know, if you see someone in front of you break into a herringbone technique because they're losing their kick, and you've got good kick, often that's a time to just really gun it because they can't go quite as fast in that herringbone technique.
We just saw Moritz a few moments ago just relaxing his arms. This takes a lot out of these athletes.
Absolutely, and they want to have that strong upper body going to the finish, but it's still very close here. It is anyone's battle here.
Absolutely.
With this finish and the long downhill.
This is the part where these gentlemen are going to be tucking because they're going to be going underneath the bridge. That's what they've got to do to maintain their balance. But again, it's very technical here because we're talking about the soupiness of this course.
Yeah, and I think that might be Jonesgard in second right now, so he's having a strong race. Then we've got, I believe, Michael Sompy in third right now, but it's still a real battle for second place. I think Moritz looks like he's going to take the top position here, but he's got to hold on here with this large group sprinting for that automatic second place. So we got 3 skiers.
Jonesgard is in there, but number 309, Antoine Briand, is actually right behind him as well, too, looking for that second spot. The 2 in advance. We know it's going to be Moritz Madeleiner. But who's second, it looks like? Oh, man. Antoine Briand.
Briand, very happy.
What
Banged
a push
his
at the
chest
end.
there. Yeah, he came from about 4th or 5th place. And he got that second place position, and we'll see how the lucky losers shape up. We should be able to find that out shortly.
Here's that final push that we were just talking about. Look on the left-hand part of your screen. Antoine Briand, he looks like he just pushes ahead just barely. Oh, man.
Banging the chest there.
Wow.
Antoine Briand is here to race.
What a thrill for him.
Oh, my goodness. Michael Sompy just in third there. We'll see if he can be in that lucky loser position.
This second semifinal, a little slower than our first semifinal, but not by much, actually. Just off by about a second, though. But what a push right through the end. Okay, we do have the finals. It is official as we look at the great athletes who are out here competing today, and, of course, the volunteers and just some of the spectators who are enjoying this fantastic event that is the 2017 Ski Nationals from the Canmore Nordic Center.
So, unofficially, our lucky losers are Michael Sompy and Knut Jonesgard for our men's final, but now on to our B final for the junior men. Daniel Strine. So this is the...
Not much rest?
Not much rest here. Yeah, exactly. So this is the battle here for 7th through 12th here at the National Championships. Here our B final for our junior men.
So here you have Daniel Steins, Godfrey, Zekel, Stolarev, Williams, and Ritchie, who'll be in the B final. And on the line right now, the 6 gentlemen who have probably done their best to catch their wind and shake out the lactic acid in their legs, realize that, okay, they've got a chance at winning the B finals.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's still some of these athletes still really chomping at the bit to get some good performances here. So this, again, is for 7th through 12th place here for the National Championships. Also, this counts for aggregate club points. It's an aggregate club points award. So a lot of these athletes, you know, it can come down to 1 or 2 placings for their club. So they're battling to get as high a placing as they can.
The conditions right now, little overcast. Sun is beaming down on these gentlemen and on their skis and on the snow. There is a bit of a wind. At the end of this race, there's a tailwind, so there's a lot of push for these guys, but right now they're just fighting through the wind as they make this steep climb up.
Yeah, so they're all still close together here, and this is where it starts to become potentially more tactical, because you know you're not worried about trying to get a good time in case you need to get into that lucky loser position. So it's a little more tactical now in these finals, because it's whoever comes across the finish line, that's going to be your placing. So we've got is that 201? Yeah, that's Daniel Strains, who was our top qualifier. So he's certainly, I'm sure, looking for to take at least 7th or 8th place here. But it's really interesting how you can be a top qualifier, but you still got to get through the heats, and that's where things like endurance on this course come to play. Daniel might be better at just a short sprint, fast sprints, but you got to still have it for your 4th time around the sprint course in the final.
It's still a tight race here. No one really wants to take the big push, this big lead. I think a lot of these athletes have been watching some of the previous heats and realizing that the push comes near the end because there's a long straightaway, but here they come around this corner.
Yeah, now that's Reed Godfrey, who was actually a top placing at the U.S. National Championships. Actually, it was Reed Godfrey who won the National Championships for the U.S., but he's a local Canmore athlete, and we call him one of the Godfather twins here.
Yeah.
Oh
my!
Oh, just I mentioned that. He is down.
He is down.
Yeah, that's hopefully he's okay. Oh my
That
goodness.
that's Reed Godfrey.
Yeah.
That is Reed Godfrey.
I mean, he obviously knows his race is over, but he has
Look at that ski.
Broken ski.
Broken ski. Wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Well, we still have a race to finish here, but as we can see, it's
he's
just
going to run out this race. Wow.
Very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, there should be a coach out there with a spare ski that can help him get to the finish. But so let's see.
Let's
now
get back to the race.
Yeah, that's Gareth Williams, who was our champion yesterday, and he's looking for a top placing here in our B final.
As you see, there is a gap in between these skiers as we see the remainder of there he is with a frustration on his face, and he's still attacking the course. Good for him.
Yeah.
But we still have a winner to come up with for the B finals. This is the junior men B finals, and in the lead right now, and it's going to be a tight finish here. That is 2:06.
That's
Gareth Williams, followed by Daniel Strines right behind him. This is not quite over. We've seen this is about 125 meters before the end. These guys are double poling at a big push.
And this is Gareth Williams from the Telemark Club in Kelowna, British Columbia. And Daniel, again, an American athlete with the Mountain Endurance Sports Team. But it looks like Gareth Williams is still going to finish off pretty strong. This is his 5th day of racing in 6 days, and he's going to finish 7th in the national championship sprint. So Gareth Williams showing some great form. Daniel Strains in 2nd, and that looks like, I believe, 2:10 there for the,
Graham Ritchie.
Graham Ritchie.
Coming
Big
across
Thunder
right now.
Nordic. Yeah, Graham Ritchie. So he'll be 9th in the national championships here in the sprint.
Derek Stollery coming across, and then we also see our final athlete. That is Max Zecco. And, of course, some disappointment by a young man with one ski.
Yeah, the local skier, Reed Godfrey.
Wow.
I mean, I think I'm sure he's quite happy with his racing this week, but, that's something that can happen in a sprint. You're putting a lot of force on your equipment. You're really aggressive, and just made the wrong move there and broke his ski, but now we're on to our A final here.
So who is your national champion for the junior men? We're going to find out. It's one of these 6.
Yeah, we're down to these 6. I mean, Etienne Hébert looked really, really strong. This is his event. Larkin Wasmuth, a local skier, certainly rising to the occasion. Michael McIsaac-Jones, another local skier from a very strong skiing family, the McIsaac-Jones family. But I know Nicholas Beaulieu from Orford, a stronger skate skier, not happy with his result earlier in the national championships. But if he can get a podium here, he will be extremely happy, the Orford, Quebec skier.
Well, the times are slowing down. In that B final, the top time was 3:33, about 4 seconds off the semifinal pace. So it's either these gentlemen are tired or the conditions have changed.
Yeah, I think it looks like it was a little more tactical race, that first race. But look at this, Larkin.
That's Larkin Wasmuth. Look at him taking that early lead. He's thinking, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to go right now.
Now, Larkin Wasmuth with the Capital Region Training Group out of Edmonton, coached by Ian Murray. Now, Ian Murray is a specialist in the double pole technique, and it looks like he's done a great job with Larkin Wasmuth. That was picture perfect double pole technique at the start here.
But the fear is if you go out too fast, too soon, someone like Nicholas Beaulieu could be coming up right behind you.
Exactly, that's right. It's a tough strategy to take because, when you're chasing someone, you know where they are at all times. You know if you're catching them or if you're falling back. When you're in the lead, you're constantly having to look over your shoulder like Larkin. But Larkin showing no fear. Here, having a great race, going to the final, and he's got the right mental attitude. He's going to take a shot here.
Absolutely.
No fear, go for it.
This is the second uphill that they have to deal with, and after that, there's a right turn halfway up, and then they reach the high point, and that's when they hit the descent. Will they be able to maintain their current sparks? Larkin Wasmuth, we just talked about a few moments ago. Will he be in that spot as he comes down the hill? As we can see, he's still in the lead.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, looking good. But now looking
Look at the outside. Oh, my.
That's Michael McIsaac-Jones.
Wow, what an aggressive move.
And we've got Etienne Hébert on the at the back there, so it's still a 4-way battle here for a national championship here for the junior men.
McIsaac-Jones is finding something in his tank, and he is pushing. Look at that lead now. But look on the outside. This is not over. It is competitor number 209, Etienne Hébert.
Yeah, Etienne's got that wicked turnover at the top of the climb. He can just break into that excellent run, but it's going to come down to that descent. Who's got the glide and who's got the double pole on that really tough final stretch.
And
here.
Who's got the will to win this?
Absolutely.
Their legs are burning at this moment. Each one of them, as they technically get around this very difficult section, is saying to themselves, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to hold off the guys behind me?
Yeah, so let's see the glide here on this final descent, but it's Michael McIsaac-Jones leading it out. Etienne Hébert.
We have a 4-man race, Steve. 4-man race.
Yeah, and Etienne Hébert just getting a little bit of gap on Larkin Wasmuth, and the Orford skier, Nicholas Beaulieu. Let us glide.
Here it is.
Yeah.
This is the championship right here. In the next 30 seconds, one of these four will take home the title of Junior National Champion. Will it be this gentleman, Michael McIsaac-Jones? Will it be number 209, Etienne Hébert? How about number 205, Nicholas Beaulieu? It is all between, or number 207, Larkin Westwood. It could be one of these four.
And here comes Etienne Hébert. He's going to move to the other track. Does he have enough room? But Larkin Wasmuth making a charge on the outside.
It's going to be a tight one.
Larkin Wasmuth trying to do it. Etienne Hébert coming on strong. Oh my
goodness. Loses his ski. Oh man, Etienne Hébert with a finish that he is totally surprised with. Well, what happened, Steve? What happened?
Well, Michael McIsaac-Jones, I'm not sure. We'll have to see the replay on that, but Etienne Hébert was coming on strong. Larkin Wasmuth, and Larkin Wasmuth had to get out of the way of Michael McIsaac-Jones. Let's see here.
Watch the ski.
Yeah, did he catch a pole? Just get off balance? I'm not sure what happened here.
Watch this pole. Oh, he just takes his
he just lost his balance.
Just lost his balance. Oh my.
And Etienne Hébert takes it. Now, I'm not sure who got second here. It looks like Nicolas Beaulieu, and Larkin Wasmuth in third, but that's all unofficial. Really unfortunate for Michael McIsaac-Jones, but that final stretch is so hard, and he was really putting everything into it. Just lost his balance.
We've seen a broken ski. We've seen a spill. Man, what a final that was for the junior man. But there you go. Congratulations to Etienne Hébert, a time of 3:22. These guys were going full out.
Yeah, Etienne Hébert, this is what he was shooting for all season, and congratulations to Etienne.
Absolutely.
Very well done. Bravo.
We go now to the senior men. This is the B final, and what a lineup we have.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong B final. Julian Locke, Bob Thompson.
I'm still exhausted from the previous final.
Yeah, Jesse Cockney, Joey Foster. This is almost like an A final in itself. So I'm really keen to see how this B final turns out. But there's Michael McIsaac-Jones. We talked about earlier, anything can happen in a sprint. It's a short race. Like in a longer race, you fall like that, you can get back up, get back in the field, but you can't make that up in a sprint.
Okay, here we go. Senior men. This is the B final, and we mentioned the competitors a few moments ago. Locke, Thompson, Cockney, Abbott, Foster, and Smith. They are on the flat stretch. This is the start of the course. We have seen so many of these competitors jump out early. We'll see if this happens again, and it looks like competitor number 305, Julian Locke, with an early lead.
Yeah, Julian, who's from the Blackjack Ski Club originally, now with the Alberta World Cup Academy, and also racing quite a bit with the national team. He was actually in Korea at the World Cup there. It was an Olympic test event for the Olympics next year. So Julian Locke getting the early lead here.
A lot of these athletes are saying the conditions are soft and slow, but watching them ascend this hill, you would never know that. Man, they are just flying.
Hey guys.
There's that point we talked about. They make a sharp left-hand turn right here. They'll be coming into your screen in just a few moments. Again, early lead is Julian Locke.
Yeah, so it looks like Julian's strategy, he's not holding back. He's just going to lead from the start and try and lock up 7th place here in our
Oh, that's
B
good.
final.
Locke could lock up 7th place.
Yeah,
Julian
nice. Locke. Yeah, he's yeah. So he's racing for Alberta World Cup Academy. I think that must be Colin Abbott, the white horse skier. It looks like in right behind him. Colin Abbott, part of the Yukon Elite team under Alain Masson. Now we got some athletes here in shorts. You can show us how warm it is.
Absolutely. Well, they're exerting a lot of energy. We know that. 305, Julian Locke. He is your leader. You see him on the left part of your screen, followed closely by a guy with no pants.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Now, Julian Locke, he's out of Nelson, British Columbia. Also a top web designer. So if you need any web design, you can check in with Julian Locke. But we've got
Colin Abbott right behind him.
Colin Abbott. And who's that third skier?
We'll get him here.
Not wearing pants. I think that might be Scott Hill. I have to say that has to be Scott Hill, Team Hardwood skier. And yeah, and then we've got two Thunder Bay athletes. That'd be Bob Thompson and Julian Smith.
Here's that descent we talked about. Now there's a sharp right-hand turn right underneath the bridge here. We talked about this area very technically challenging because look at those conditions. The snow, there's no tracks anywhere.
Yeah, it's getting pretty ruddy there. I mean, when you're going through it by yourself, these guys are pretty skilled, so it's not a problem. But it's more of an issue when you've got 2 or 3 skiers coming in side by side, and you don't quite have the luxury of picking your own line. But now let's see, Colin Abbott, can he close this gap on this descent?
Julian has found his tracks, and it looks like he's doing okay so far. So is he going to stay in those tracks? Probably, but you're right. He's got someone right behind him. But this gentleman here, the B final, Julian Locke, is hoping to secure this senior finals, B finals. Julian Locke.
Yeah, so it looks like
he's having no problem here.
Yeah, Julian looks like he's going to get 7th. Colin Abbott in 8th, the White Horse skier. And then we still got a bit of a battle here for 9th and 10th. I believe that is Scott Hill, not wearing pants there. That's how we're describing it. So that is, yeah, I believe that is Scott Hill. I'm not sure. 3:16. Oh, but 3:07. Wow. Bob Thompson, 6'5", Bob Thompson there, taking, I think, 9th place.
Beautifully done. Julian Locke again, a time, get this, 3:20.16, one of the fastest times on the course. The fastest time that we've had was 3:18.56. But here we go. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and we are here now. These 6 gentlemen want to walk home with the title of champion, national senior men's champion. Who do you like here?
Well, we've got 2 foreign athletes in here, so they won't actually qualify for the national championship, but there is prize money for all top 6 positions, so that's what they're shooting for. But, Evan Palmer-Charette looked really, really strong, but again, it's a sprint. What kind of tactics are going to be at play here? Last time, Dag Froda let it out really hard, and Evan just tucked in behind him and stuck with him. But here, I think we're going to see more tactics. Now, you've got 2 teammates, Moritz and Dag Froda from the University of Denver. You've also got 2 teammates in Evan Palmer-Charette and Michael Sompi. And then we've got 2, Antoine Briand and Knut Jonsgaard. I'd love to see Evan take a championship here. Also, Michael, who's had a strong week, so we'll see how this shapes up.
In 3 minutes, we will have a national senior men's champion. Is it one of these 6? Of course it is, but which one? We don't know. That's the fun of all of this. Taking an early lead, Moritz Madlener. I'll get it right.
Yeah, so he's the German, and then we've got Dag Frode, the Oslo Norwegian. And then it looks like, I think that's Evan Palmer-Charette on the outside.
Yes, it is, yep.
So far, it looks like the Denver athletes are trying to take it out pretty fast. For 3:09, Antoine Briand.
He may have something to say as this race progresses.
Yeah, so, you know what? Maybe they're not going too hard here. They're all together. They all look pretty relaxed. But I think, so this is the first part of the climb. They have a little bit of a turn, but then a little bit of a rest, and then it's the steep climb all the way to the top. So we'll see if one of these athletes decides to push it there or just wait for the finish.
Here's the strategy. It comes into play right now, and a lot of these athletes have been playing in their mind what they're going to do at certain points of this course. The second of these steep climbs is what they're on right now. And as you can see, a lot of double pumping going on right now, trying to maintain his lead is that gentleman right there.
Yeah, and a nice move there by Evan Palmer-Charette. He got the inside corner. Oh, and now they're going. Yeah, they're going. They're pushing the pace right now. They're deciding this is where they want to go. They are attacking here on this steep climb, and that is 3:01. That is Dag Frode Trulbo and Moritz Madlener. Yeah, they're going here. That's their strategy.
Teammates.
Yeah, teammates. They decided to push it really hard over the top of the hill. But now, see, this is going to be interesting. The Canadians, they know that they can't qualify, those 2 in front, for the national championship. So we'll see if that plays into it. But Evan Palmer-Charette, he is the lead Canadian right now.
There you go. So we're looking at 2 things right now. We're looking at a winner of this race, but we're also looking at the Canadian national winner.
Absolutely, yeah. So there's some good cash here for these 2 fellows, but the hardware is going to be for the guys behind them. So that's going to play into this. But Evan Palmer-Charette, look at this.
Look at that lead.
Look at this.
Wow.
Now, he's shown some good form. He recently won the Sleeping Giant Muppet out in Thunder Bay.
Yep.
And, he hasn't won a national championship at the senior category before. Oh my, this would be huge for Evan Palmer-Charette and the Thunder Bay program led by Timo Puris and Tim Watanya. And you know what? Could he gain?
Could he actually gain something here?
Oh, that would be great. But
wow.
Now we still got this battle here. So I think it's Moritz. Yeah, it's Moritz on the left, and it's Dag Froda on the right, and here's Evan Palmer-Charette.
So we're going to have a champion and a Canadian champion as well, too.
That's correct.
A winner of this race and a Canadian champion.
So we've got the German on the right and the Norwegian on the left here, and they're side by side.
But if you're looking for a Canadian champion, he's right out of there. He's in your picture now. Competitor number 314, Evan Palmer-Charette. He will be your Canadian champion for the senior men. And these two gentlemen, wow, excited to be finishing this race too.
Evan Palmer-Charette, national champion. Now, who is silver and bronze for the Canadians? We'll have to see how it comes up. So it looks like
we got to see who's coming on next.
Yeah, we'll have to see how our results shape up here. But Evan
Palmer-Charette, we'll share that with you in a few minutes.
National champion. We just lost the picture. And we've got.
And the athletes are falling around us like nobody's business. It's unbelievable. Look at the exhaustion of these athletes that's coming across and making the final realization of what this event means. Man, this is just something. So, here, let's take a look at the finishing.
So we've got Dag Froda actually right in our announcing.
Dag, tell us about this, buddy.
Dad is watching from Norway. Oh, Moritz took the, well, if his dad's watching from Germany, Moritz watching just right here in our announcing booth. Very happy with the championship here, our international champion.
And Evan Palmer-Charette is our Canadian champion for the senior men. We'll bring him over here as well too. But again, true exhaustion here. That is amazing. Go ahead, Steve. Yeah, that's exactly how you do it. I was thinking the same thing too here. Wow.
So Morris's dad watching. We've got a worldwide audience here for this national championships. Antoine Briand is just lying face down in the snow right now. Evan Palmer-Charette, your national champion. We're just going to wait. It looks like Antoine Briand, the silver medalist, and if I read that right, Knut Jonsgaard getting the bronze medal.
And to give you a perspective, we were talking about some of the times here, Steve. Up to this point, 3:18 was the fastest time. In this heat, the fastest time was 3 minutes and 12. 3:12.
So that was the fastest sprint of the day. Oh my goodness.
Saving it to the end.
Yeah, saving it for the end.
These guys all around us, as we look around here, everybody is lying on the ground and they are physically exhausted. Okay, Steve, what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you over there. So grab the microphone. We're going to get Steve to talk to our winners here in just a few moments. But as we take a look at the sea of bodies lying all around us, these men have put it out like no one's business. They are truly exhausted here as we, again, bring you the finals here of the 2017 Canadian Cross Country Ski Nationals. And as we get our cameras in set, you'll get a feel for what this means to these athletes. That gentleman, Antoine Briand, is again one of the amazing athletes who are here today. And Steve, we're getting him set up with one of our athletes. Hugs all around, and why not? These guys have been putting in efforts, like as we say, nobody's business. And what an incredible moment here. Tears, why not? Why not? To be considered to be as part of the top 5 and to have these kind of accolades means quite a lot to these gentlemen. It's quite a moment. It's quite a moment to see here from the Canmore Nordic Center. Hugs all around, and why not? It's been quite a competition here as we see these athletes and the coaches and volunteers who are all part of these moments as well too. It's quite exceptional. Evan Palmer-Charette, who is the new Canadian champion, senior men's champion. We're going to find him, competitor number 314. We're going to find Evan Palmer-Charette in just a few moments as we're getting ourselves all geared here. But boy, what a competition and what a day this has been. Yeah. Steve and I are just trying to make sure that we can get him over here. As you can appreciate, he's actually doing a number of interviews as well too. But as we embrace what has been the most magnificent competition and most magnificent day here, at the Canmore Nordic Center. We again are just confirming all of our things here. All of these, by the way, are just unofficial again too. Evan Palmer-Charret, he is the Canadian. Yes, we had a couple of other gentlemen who did win that heat, but if you're looking for a Canadian champion, it is number 314 as we get our cameras in position. And it's interesting as we look at the conditions right now, throughout this entire day, it has changed. It is absolutely fascinating. And what a great shot here of the three gentlemen who there's your top three. But again, as a reminder, as we're looking for a Canadian champion, and that is number 314, Evan Palmer-Charret on your right-hand side here. But again, we look at the other two gentlemen, Moritz Madlener and Dagfjord Furlebo, with incredible times. 3:18 was the fastest time that we had, but those three gentlemen, sub 3:13 times. Now Steve is getting in position. Steve, you go ahead. He is now talking with Evan Palmer-Charret.
Evan Palmer-Charret, the Canadian champion in the sprint. How does it feel to be called the Canadian champion?
It's surprising for sure. Skate sprinting, I can usually be competitive, but I've never really had a great classic sprint result before, so for sure it's a surprise, especially after the really tough race yesterday and just getting here. Quick time to altitude after the World Cups in Quebec on the weekend. So yeah, shock.
Yeah, now your fitness looked really good. Like it looked like the Denver University teammates, they pushed the pace in the semifinal, and in the final they got onto the steep climb and really pushed the pace, and you're the only guy that could really hang with them, be right in there with them.
Yeah, for sure. That was the make or break point in the race today, that second climb. In my quarter, I took off in that hill because I had three guys that are usually really strong finishers, and I knew I didn't want to be in a battle with them at the end. And my time in my quarter was pretty quick, so I knew going into the semi and final, if I could just follow the pace on that climb, I'd have a shot, and those two guys definitely had it on the hill more than me the last time, but yeah, super good day.
When did you feel you had the national championship? Obviously, you're coming down that straightaway. Did you kind of look over your shoulder and say, man, I got it, or you just drive right to the finish?
I didn't check. I've had last year in the NORAM here, it was my quarterfinal actually, and I was leading the downhill, and then people in a group with momentum on this long downhill into the finish can come whipping by with more momentum, so by no means did I think I had it locked up until the last 10 meters or so.
Yeah, now you've showed a lot of improvement over the last couple years, so you're feeling pretty happy about your program here, finishing off this year and going into next year?
Yeah, for sure. Fitness this year has been awesome, and I eliminated the issue. I had compartment syndrome in my shin, so that was really a setback in a lot of distance racing. So for sure, fitness is great, body's healthy, can't ask for much more.
Now, would you say this was your best race ever? How would you rank it amongst all your races? I mean, be a Canadian champion, that's pretty good.
It's definitely up there. I mean, qualifier and warming up for the heats, I was feeling pretty tired after the past few days, and yeah, for sure, something special out there to find that fitness and energy for the heats.
Yeah, now this is like your 5th day of racing in 6 or 7 days, right? Because you raced 3 days in Quebec, raced yesterday, raced today, so you got to feel pretty good about that. Your 5th day of racing in 6 days, and you take a national championship.
Absolutely. Monday morning, I was up at 3:30 flying out of Quebec City. Only got like 3 hours of sleep and came here and tried to get ready for the 15 yesterday, and that was a battle. It was super tough course, super tough conditions, and I was just happy to finish that race, so I did not expect to have the energy and result I did today.
Now, what about your skis there? It looked like you had pretty good skis out there. Pretty happy with your Wax Techs today?
Oh yeah, the Wax Techs killed it, and my white bases were for sure the right choice today. Yeah, skis and body came together, and that's what makes a great day great.
Oh, well, congratulations. Just an awesome race. Great to see you racing so well. You recently took the Sleeping Giant Loppet in a sprint, and now you're taking the sprint at Nationals, so extremely well done. Anything you want to say? This is a worldwide broadcast. Anything you want to say to your family and friends back home in Thunder Bay?
Yeah, I mean, the ski community in Thunder Bay is so supportive. Everyone from Lappy Nordic, Canvey Nordic, the whole ski scene there, and then, of course, my parents always supporting me with whatever choice I choose. Right, this year I decided not to take school, and they're behind me 100%, so for sure the parents get a lot of credit.
Well, that looks like it was a good decision, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to turn things back to Phoenix now. Thanks a lot, man. That was great. Good job.
Palmer Charret with an unbelievable time of 3 minutes and 16 seconds. One of the fastest times throughout this entire day of competition, and what a thrilling moment for not only that gentleman, but also his club, his parents, his coaches, and of course for himself. What an absolute incredible showing. And again, we would be remiss if we didn't say thank you very much to this amazing group of people who have put this together here at the Canmore Nordic Center. It's been so much fun. And to watch all of these athletes achieve their limits and to go after their limits, as you could see, some of them totally spent at the end of the race. What an absolute vision to see that and to be a part of this here at Shaw TV. And I know that Steve was talking about with Evan a few moments ago about his training and what it took to be this type of athlete and to go through all of these different conditions. And let's be honest here, we've been talking about the changing, ever-changing conditions of today, and it continues to change as we even speak here. But they found a way. These athletes found a way to actually make it work for them. And, you know, as much as we appreciate the sport, to be out here and to see these athletes give it their all, there is even more of an appreciation for what they're actually doing. Well, we also have our junior champion as well, too. And if Steve is ready, here he is with our junior champion.
I'm here live with our junior men's champion, Etienne Hébert. How does it feel to be called a Canadian champion?
It feels amazing. Seriously, that is probably one of the best feelings for a junior skier, and it's just incredible. What a day for me and my team, and that was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and you were coming on really strong. It was a really tough finish there, like a real hard drag race double pulling. How did that feel coming to the finish?
I was feeling great, actually, but no, it was super hard. Like, the conditions are super slow, so all the track, that makes it a lot more difficult. So you have to keep it up until the end, and I just, like, felt to go for it. I was, like, just telling myself, continue to push, just go, and it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and now you were pushing so hard in the finish. Obviously, you're totally focused on giving everything in the end. Did you see what happened to Michael McIsaac-Jones beside you? He lost his balance a little bit. Did you notice that, or it looked like you were just starting to inch in front of him at that point?
I don't know exactly what happened. I think he just actually lost his balance, and yeah, I don't know exactly. I should ask him afterwards, but no, it was just super tight, and we were both going for it really hard, and I don't know what happened, but I'm happy with the results, and yeah.
Yeah, you look super strong. And anything, about your team? You talked about your team. It looks like, they would have had to work pretty hard behind you to have really good skis. Anything you want to say to your team?
Well, merci à mon équipe, je vais dire en français. Merci Montréal, mes parents surtout, merci beaucoup. Honnêtement, tout ce que j'ai fait, c'est à cause de l'appui de Montéréski, Fisher, mes parents beaucoup, le club de ski de fond Montéréski, Sylvie Girard. Merci beaucoup. So yeah, my team did an amazing job, and I thank them a lot for that.
Yeah, and this was the sprint. This was really the day that you were gunning for, really. You probably had this circled on your calendar for quite some time.
Yeah, for sure. At the beginning of the year, my classic sprints were clearly my best distance because I went to World Juniors with that, and that was amazing. So I was kind of feeling not pressure, but confident for this race today. I felt sick on Saturday afternoon, so I was trying to just come back from that a couple days ago. So I was just trying to feel great, and today worked out super well.
Well, congratulations on a very exciting race, and you're now a national champion.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much, and we're going to now turn things back to Phoenix.
Pushing their limits, today's men's champions are firmly secured in history. For my co-host, Steve Scholes, my name is Phoenix. We hope you enjoyed watching the 2017 Nordic Nationals. This is Chasing Limits on Shaw TV, a glimpse into Western Canada's action sports, and a look into the athletes and personalities that continue to chase their limits. Till next time.